Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I am your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here, with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is going to be E3 2021. We're back, a year off of E3, and we're back. Here to host with me, as always, Chris Trio, the triple threat. It was out of order, I'm sorry.
It's a me. No worries, It's all right. It's a bit of it's a Saturday. We don't usually record on a Saturday. Feel like,
True.
we're just in a different headspace, so we're getting there.
It's a little hot.
It is a little hot. I mean, it's actually just a little hot. I have a very low tolerance for heat.
Before we get into it, what we're going to be doing... Oh, I don't even know why I said that. Before we get into it, just a quick overview of what exactly we're doing. We're going to be running through pretty much the major announcements from E3. We're kind of going to go through, starting with Summer Games Fest Kickoff Live with Jeff Keighley, and then going to go through Nintendo. This is not in order. Nintendo, Ubisoft, Xbox plus Bethesda, and Square. We're not doing... there was the PC game showcase. There were a lot of little things that I just feel I just didn't even have the bandwidth to watch some of that smaller stuff, and we're not going to cover that. We're just going to kind of cover...
We're going to cover what we care about for the most part, basically.
Yeah.
Which I think, to be honest, it's mostly going to be most of the stuff you care about. But hey, if you're in chat with us, shout out something that we're missing, because we'll definitely, try to stay attached. I was trying to share it on the Instagram because I didn't get the chance to before we started. I got distracted by our conversation.
Okay, yeah, just scrap it and put the chat up.
All right.
So Trio, we're not going to talk about games, obviously, because that's all we're going to be doing on this podcast. What's been new, man?
Not
in gaming.
Not in gaming. I just signed a lease for a new apartment, which is cool. So I'll be moving out.
Back to Delco he comes.
Actually, I think it's Montco.
Are you sure?
I think so. I think it's Montgomery County, technically.
King of Prussia?
Let me see. Now I'm all curious.
I think you're in Delco.
I think hey, listen, if I'm back, I'm back. You can take the kid out of Delco, but you can't take Delco out of the kid. It's ridiculous. But let's see. Google Maps. I'm not going to say exactly where.
Just look up King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Your volume is still on, by the way. I can hear it.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Boom. What just happened?
You're taking unusually long.
I mean, well, it happened. Okay, King of Prussia. Where would it say the county?
I should just say it.
Don't say where I'm living. I don't want these people knowing. I think it's Montco, man.
How long are we gonna take?
I don't know.
Why'd you Google Maps?
Because I thought it would say what county it's in on Google Maps. I don't know what to tell you.
All right,
here, for God's sakes. King.
Just Google it.
Prussia.
And it'll say it. Moment of truth.
King of Prussia is a census-designated place under Upper Marion Township, Montgomery Township. Not back.
Fucking fraud.
Fucked out. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking fraud. Jesus. Anyway, has that been pretty much it?
I mean,
put it in the middle.
Yeah.
I need to say.
I'm sorry. No, I'm forgetting.
Yeah, you're.
I'm not used to. Well, I'm not used to having something on my phone on this. It's not the normal.
It's not.
All right. So. Yeah, that's been about it. Besides video games, obviously. I got a Switch, which has been cool.
You did get a Switch.
But started Zelda, Luigi's Mansion. It's been fun. But what about you, Gish?
I finished Altered Carbon Season 1. Good shit.
I love Season 1.
I started Season 2, and I'm seeing what everyone meant.
What, you're seeing the cracks?
I'm seeing it's this just doesn't...
So what has not been good about it?
I think the fact that Anthony Mackie just seems like I like Anthony Mackie, but I don't think switching actors was the good idea for the main character.
Sure.
I think that's I don't know.
Because he almost has to mimic Joel Kinnaman's because you want it to feel like it's the same person.
Dude. Right.
Yeah, so that's a tough task to take on.
And it just doesn't really feel like it's the same dude.
And that's world breaking. Yeah, that would annoy me too. I'd be like, you need to believe.
Wait, so you didn't watch Season 2?
No, I never got around to it. Just because it came out and I just kept hearing that type of consensus. And I don't know, when it comes to TV shows, I feel like I really have to want to sit down and watch it. Oh yeah, I've been watching Loki too. I feel like that's been fucking awesome. I've really been enjoying that so far. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, other than Altered Carbon, I bought like 4 concert tickets in like a week.
In a week? To
Yeah.
where? Is that the one in...
I'm seeing Lindsey Sterling in August. I'm seeing The Midnight twice. Once in Austin, once here.
Okay.
And then I'm seeing Churches in December.
Okay. You're pretty packed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you bought 4 different concert tickets, is what you're saying.
Right.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying you bought 4 tickets to a singular concert. No. Makes sense. No. That's cool. Yeah, I haven't gone to a fucking concert since Linkin Park.
Was that like high school?
That was like high school. Yeah, and I mean, what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember the lead singer. He was still alive and stuff. It was actually
shit. What's his name?
It was actually amazing. It really was. And actually, even Jared Leto, weird fuck himself, was there with 30 Seconds to Mars,
just hanging out.
No, well, and they opened, and it was
Joker.
It was awesome. Like I was like, you weird, crazy fuck. This is a lot of fun.
Was
like
this
I didn't even care.
Was this pre-Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it was pre all
any casting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was when he was like rumored, maybe.
Okay.
What
an interesting timeline that.
No, it was, and I absolutely, I gotta give it to the guy. He's an entertainer. It was really, I did not care about 30 Seconds to Mars at all, and by the end, I was like, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Other than that, that's
what have you been thinking about Loki so far?
It's all right.
Just all right.
I'm not seeing the hype. Yeah.
You discussed. No, that's fine. No, hey, I understand. It is fun. I know. I hear you. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's something really cool and new. And I think the first 2 episodes are shitting on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then still also shitting on. Well, actually, not shitting. I liked WandaVision a lot, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just a very straightforward, kind of thriller espionage. But still, I don't know. That saddens me. I'm surprised. But we'll have a review out for that once it's finished. I'm absolutely sure.
How many episodes?
I think 8.
Most
I mean,
likely.
it could be 10. I don't know. Did you see they just changed their drop date fully? Everything's going to come out on Wednesday there now.
Why?
Because I think Netflix is also doing Friday drops. So
I mean, they also have to compete with themselves with every movie they put out.
Exactly. So I kind of like the Wednesday thing, but
anyway,
interesting stuff. Yeah.
That's it. I probably go a little longer with our catching up, but we got some shit to talk about. E3 2021. Let us jump into it. We gotta figure that out.
We did. Well, we need different coasters is what we need. Yeah, these. They need, or I need to sit it like this.
All right, guys.
It's almost as if that's how it should be because the cork should be exhorting.
Then flip it upside down.
No, I know. It's just weird to me. I don't
flip
get
it up. No, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Because then you don't get the stick.
I hope everyone heard that.
Ooh, what is that?
This is a Workhorse Brewery vanilla porter.
Interesting. I'm not really usually a vanilla or chocolate
I mean, it's like coffee.
Yeah, I don't like that. I got this. I was at my brother's.
It's a good for one.
Yeah, I agree. I was at my brother's wedding and I went to grab a Blue Moon and they had these coffee stout Blue Moons and I didn't realize.
Not at a wedding.
Awful. It was awful. I didn't know he just had them sitting there and it looked like the Blue Moon top. So I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, take it. So I take it and I take a sip without looking. And I get a weird coffee Blue Moon mixture. Awful.
So let's jump into it. Summer Games Fest kickoff hosted by my own favorite, Mr. Jeffrey Keighley.
Jefferson Keighley?
Kojima's best bud. So this technically wasn't E3, but Jeff opened E3. It has nothing to do with E3, but there were plenty of announcements there, including one Elden Ring, which we'll talk about. So we started off Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. We are getting a Borderlands spinoff. This is going to come out early 2021. I wrote 2020 probably because I was just going fast. Yeah, so this is a Borderlands spinoff. Instead of it being post-apocalyptic, it's night. Remember the Borderlands 2 DLC, bunkers and dragons, and it was a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Do you remember this?
Not really. Borderlands 2 I kind of missed.
Okay, so there was a DLC that was D&D.
Okay.
In Borderlands.
Inspired.
That's what this game is. It has a celebrity cast: Andy Samberg, Wanda Sykes, Will Arnett, among some others.
So, and this is a game.
This is a game. This is not a movie.
Okay. I mean, not to be confused with the Borderlands movie.
We will talk about the Borderlands movie for the Gearbox thing.
I heard. Yeah, dude, I can't actually. We'll get into
it. But does that interest you at all?
Not even sort of.
Really? Okay.
I don't again Borderlands. I get And like I actually shouldn't say Borderlands 2 was my time. Borderlands 1 wasn't. I just don't remember that DLC specifically. But yeah, I don't know. Borderlands doesn't like the loot and shoot kind of idea. Like I'm assuming it's gonna go similarly in that fashion. And I don't know. Not really turning my gears.
I think Borderlands 3 was stale as hell. So I don't know if this is what I want from Borderlands, but I'm certainly willing to kind of give it a try. It seems kind of interesting.
Sure.
It seems like we're really going to get away from, I guess, this Borderlands kind of like schema they have going. They didn't really show anything other than the games coming out. Even later Gearbox's thing, they barely really said much of anything about it.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the next one. Metal Slug Tactics is coming out. Have you heard of Metal Slug?
It sounds familiar.
It's like correct me if I'm wrong. It's like an old like I don't know if it's not top down, but it's like a side scroller like shoot 'em up game, and they're making a new one. And the graphics, the art style.
So it's 2D side scroller, right? Like you're saying, okay. And it's been around.
It's not a side scroller. I think they're doing it in like a little different like look, but like that's the idea. It's like 2D characters. Yeah, it's like a shoot 'em up.
All right, that makes sense.
Doing that. I don't think they had any information on that.
Yeah, not much.
I put this doc together when I was going through this, and I did not get the chance to go back and like kind of like put notes for everything. So we're just gonna go through, and I might bunch some things together that we're not gonna talk about as much, and do the. You know, this is coming out, moving on.
Yeah.
Like, we just can't talk about everything. But anyway, we can talk about the Death Stranding Director's Cut trailer, which was just a big Metal Gear Solid fun fest. Anyone who knows Metal Gear was like, holy shit. They had, you know, like, we get in, and, like, Sam just, like, goes into this, like, room with a bunch of guards, and they're all walking around like it's Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, like, and then they show a vent with a rat, which is a reference to MGS1, and there's a box of oranges, which is a reference to MGS2 and possibly 4 if you look at it a different way. And Sam like takes the oranges out of the box, puts the box down, like jumps in it like Snake, but like doesn't really like hide in it, and gets out, puts the box back on the shelf, and that's the trailer.
So basically, this director's cut. I love how I guess there are video game directors, so it's interesting to hear director's cut used on a video game. I will give you that, Kojima. You know what you're doing when it comes to marketing. I love it. I'm excited. It sounds interesting in the way of like what you're saying. I feel like it seems like a love letter to some fans too, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know much. It's definitely it's a PS5.
And is there more like story coming with it?
That's the question
because I feel like that's what a director's cut would imply, at least in a regular movie.
Right, and that trailer was like, we've never seen whatever this was, or an area like this, so maybe they're adding some more content to that. I don't think I'd mind that. I would definitely play Death Stranding again on PS5. That game's fucking beautiful in general. It's just gonna look even better on a PlayStation 5.
I did weirdly enjoy that game. Like, in the way of like...
You did finish it.
I did.
You did.
There was something relaxing to like literally you just being a delivery man sometimes. I don't like in a lot of, but then there was obviously some of the fighting and all that jazz. But I don't know what it is about that game.
I think there is some room to improve Death Stranding. So maybe the director's cut, like they've already like added a lot of things to it. So them adding more things to it and making it a better experience overall, and then putting it on PlayStation 5.
So and it is an exclusive to PlayStation 5?
I don't know. Because
I doubt it.
There is a PC version of Death Stranding, but I don't know if those updates are going to come to the PC version. Who knows? But yeah, I'm up for whatever.
I do. I appreciate games putting out some, like, especially when they do it, putting out these patches for free and stuff. Like, because I will, like, just as a tiny sidebar with Metro, they released that like fully next gen upgrade, and as I was I thought you had to pay for the upgraded version, but no, it's just patched right in. It's free. So. I mean, it would be cool to see if people did purchase it on PlayStation 4 to pay for some type of not even necessarily like you don't pay anything and you get it, but like you can pay $20 and then that upgrades your edition or something like that. They didn't
announce exactly like, again, like what the upgrade, if there is an upgrade, or if this is just a totally like, you know, you got to rebuy it. I kind of doubt that will be the case, but
maybe we just have to rebuy
a $20
which, to be honest, I don't think that would be ludicrous to ask, but yeah. As in the rapper, Ludacris. Sorry.
So we had what's our boy's name? Jeff Goldblum come out and announced Jurassic Park Evolution 2.
Interesting.
Which is, from what I Jurassic Park Evolution was like a Jurassic Park like sim game.
That's what I thought. Like it's like what's Roller Coaster Tycoon, but for Jurassic Park. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's by those devs too, Frontier.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Any interest in that?
No, not at all.
Okay. We had a game called Sable get announced. I totally don't remember what this game was.
It's coming.
It just says Sable, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Who is Sable?
Next up, we have a Lost Ark, which is Amazon Studios, which every game they put out has pretty much not been done well at all. This is their new MMO. It's kind of like Diablo meets Monster Hunter meets WoW. It is a fall 2021 release. We'll see.
I can't I feel like to dip your toes into something like that without like some type of base. Like I can't imagine how hard it is to get another foot in the hole with like an MMO.
I think you just really got to shake up the foundation of what an MMO is to be successful at this point. I think I've talked about this before. The MMO genre has just not evolved in probably since like Guild Wars 2 came out, Final Fantasy 14, SWOTOR, or not SWOTOR. Yeah. SWOTOR. Yeah. Not KOTOR.
Those confuse me too.
Yeah. Like there was a wave of MMOs that came out, and those games are still successful, but there really hasn't been another big MMO since those games.
You know, yeah.
And Amazon Game Studios, like every game they've made has pretty much flopped.
Been poopy.
Yeah, like they've just been making like live service games or multiplayer games, and like they just haven't done well. And like New Worlds is another MMO coming out that's more PvP oriented, and I kind of look at this and I go, yeah, we'll see about that. Like it's just like I don't know if I trust like, you know, Diablo meets Monster Hunter meets WoW. I don't know if that's the new thing that an MMO
Yeah,
needs,
it definitely doesn't.
Especially when you're like kind of WoW-like. I mean, every MMO is going to be like WoW-like, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's even like funny to see like they're still doing stuff with like Elder Scrolls Online, and we'll talk about that like, probably a little bit later. I don't know. It's cool.
Really?
I think they're. We'll probably mention. Didn't they announce like a new thing, or did they not?
Their expansion just came out. And I think
that's right.
They
Okay, so it's not really any new.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But no, it's just interesting to me to see like some of these like Guild Wars 2. I assume still probably has a pretty good player base. I played SWOTOR for a while because it feels like another Knights of the Old Republic game in a lot of ways. It barely even really feels like an MMO if you don't want it to, if you don't play with anyone. But no, it's interesting stuff. I don't know. The MMO world is something I don't dip my toe into often, even sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I play MMOs, but like I don't play every MMO.
Sure.
Like Guild Wars 2 has been my main MMO, and I've been very casual with that the last few years. But I won't just play any MMO.
Yeah,
it's got to really hook me.
Makes sense.
Let's move on. We got a Call of Duty Cold War, Warzone Season 4 trailer. We got a trailer for Free Guys, the movie. Apparently, they announced there's some Twitch higher, you know, like Ninja, Pokimane, like bigger Twitch stars going to be in that movie, and I'm like, yeah, it seems like
it makes sense. They're trying to get all the kids, Gooch.
Yeah, we got some new. What?
Hello, fellow youth. Like that Steve Buscemi meme.
Yeah. What is that from?
I don't know.
Is that like Arrested Development?
I feel like it must be. I really have no idea.
Anyway, we got some new Among Us content coming. We had a bunch of PlayStation indies get announced. Some I have on here are first one, Salt and Sacrifice, was a sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, which is a Souls-like game.
Okay.
That is 2022. Solar Ash, which has been, I think if you saw it, you might recognize it. That's 2021. We had
Solar Ash. Interesting.
Yeah. We have the Chivalry 2 launch trailer that launched like this week, and they showed a launch trailer. We have a new hero or agent coming to Valorant, and they teased it for only like a smidge of 2 seconds.
So wait, what is Valorant?
Valorant is Riot Games. They make League of Legends. It is their Counter-Strike Go clone.
Counter-Strike is like a shooter, right? Or like it's like an arena shooter.
It's a very hardcore arena shooter.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it to put it in the simplest terms, that somebody might go, ooh, it's clone.
Well, again,
like, it's what it is. It's a CS:GO inspired game.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's kind of imagine like Overwatch,
because I feel like I always hear those types of terms used, and I never quite understood.
Heroes, legends, whatever you want to call them. Next up, we have an Escape from Tarkov new map called Streets of Tarkov. Do you know what Escape from Tarkov is?
Not even sort of.
It is like a take Metro.
Okay.
You're in Russia. It's post-apocalyptic, and you're just like, it's kind of like a battle royale, and you're just hunting people down, but it's very slow paced.
Okay, that actually sounds kind of cool.
I've been meaning to play it. Like,
is it only on PC?
Yeah, Chaz hasn't. He's like, we should play sometime, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, when are we gonna play, Chaz? Come on.
What's going on,
bro?
Chaz?
What's going on?
What are you
I
doing?
got Siege. I wasn't really too into that, but I was like, Tarkov looks pretty cool. So that's a game I've always been noticing. Maybe I'll pick it up with this expansion. Hopefully, like, just people getting me into those multiplayer games is kind of what I need if I'm not into it myself. We have 2 Point Campus that is coming in 2022. 2 Point is like, they're like Sims games.
Okay.
Except there's like, I think the last one was 2 Point Hospital. So we got a trailer for that. We have a Smite and Stranger Things crossover. We're going to be getting Stranger Things skins for certain heroes in that.
Interesting.
Again, very interesting crossover. I don't know what. Smite is all gods, pretty much. I don't know if you've seen anything of Smite. I don't know what Stranger Things have anything to do with that, but okay.
Hey, Gooch, money. That's what.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to piece this next one together. This publishing company called Prime Matter got announced, and Prime Matter is like a collective of like a bunch of other, like, Payday 3 is under them, and like a bunch of indie games, and they had their own like press conference that was shit, but like they're basically a new publishing company that existing games will live under.
Interesting.
I'm not explaining that super well because like I watched it enough and I get the gist of it, but
you were kind of like, yeah. Now I hear what you mean.
It's like, all right, it's a new publishing company, like whatever.
Yeah.
The next up we have a game called the Anacrusis, which is pretty much a Left 4 Dead like game. It's by a company called Stray Bombay. It's on Xbox and PC, and I was not impressed at all. This is under Prime Matter, I think.
Okay.
I was not impressed at all by what we showed. It looked so. Imagine it's like you're on a ship. It's like a 70s aesthetic, kind of like the TVA.
Sure. Okay.
And you're killing like
more 50s, but...
aliens.
Okay.
And I'm just like, the gameplay was just like super jank, and I'm like, this looks like shit. Like,
what are the? Yeah, you just were like, what is happening? Like, what is
not even
like,
what is happening, but like just the way like the aliens were moving looked bad.
It was all janky.
It just looked like, I didn't know if it was like, this is like part of the style choice or something, but like I just wasn't into what they were showing at all. It just looked very early build, but it didn't look good enough to like impress anybody.
Interesting.
Especially when you have a game like Back 4 Blood coming out, which is technically the same thing, but like a AAA dev.
Absolutely.
Making a Left 4 Dead game. So I feel like it's like, probably not the best time to release that when you're competing with like
yeah, I don't know. That seems like a very
coming
odd
into the Left 4 Dead genre.
Yeah, I don't know. That's very odd. I wouldn't understand the thinking there either.
Next up, we have Rocket League Cross Fast 9. We're getting some car bundles, trio. How's that sound? You ready for Dominic Toretto to invade your mind?
That egg in a vest, Vin Diesel, Dom Toretto?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
We have Blood Hunt, which is a battle royale set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe.
Oh, interesting. Vampire the Masquerade, is that coming still? Like, what's going on?
Got delayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like an old game, right? Like
the original one.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have Houses of Ashes trailer. This is our third game in the Dark Pictures anthology. It's coming out October 22nd, 2021. It is set in Iraq in 2003. I'm excited. Ashley Tisdale's in it. I'm hyped.
What was the second one about?
Little Hope?
Yeah.
It's Salem Witch Trials, for lack of better
Was it
terms.
better? Did you think it was a lot better than the first one?
Oh yeah.
That first one, I'm not gonna lie.
Man of Medan was rough.
It was so bad. Like I really like. There was like barely anything going on. I don't understand.
I gotta admit, I wasn't into the Salem Witch Trials setting of Little Hope, but I really liked Little Hope. And the setting, Iraq 2003, right at the start of like when we went over there, War on Terror.
That's interesting. Yeah,
that's a very interesting setting to do a horror game.
No, I agree.
And like Ashley Tisdale being in it, I just find very interesting as somebody who grew up with Disney Channel when Ashley Tisdale was on it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, I'm excited for that. But dude, again, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play it on Halloween night. We're gonna sit down here for 5 hours. I mean, you weren't there, but dude, you play these games in one sitting with people. It's the best way to experience it.
Meredith is still mad at me because last time we played what was it called? Until Dawn. I fucked up at the end and got like everyone.
What did you move
I
the
thought
controller?
no, I thought you were supposed to like. I was like, no, make this choice. That's the. I'm confident, and it literally got It was like I accidentally flipped the switch too early in like the house, and it set everyone on
Oh,
fire.
you fucking idiot.
She was.
Oh, the lights.
It was so bad because like. She was like, I don't think that's right, Chris. I'm like, no, do it. That's the right choice.
Yeah,
She was pissed off.
we'll have to get the group together and do that. That was
That
so
would be a
much
fun. I mean, honestly,
That's
Until
what we did
Dawn
last
even like to
Halloween.
stream like that. Like, I feel like that'd be fun to play with. Like, and we all just make
Dude,
sure.
we shut the lights off. Like, it was fun. It was interesting because like none of us have played this game before, so we're all kind of like talking about what we think is going on.
It's interesting.
It's really
It's like
interesting.
watching a movie together.
Yeah, it really is. I highly recommend playing both, even though Man of Medan is kind of a stinker.
I might give Little Hope a shot. Who knows?
We have the next Tales game coming out September 10th, 2022. I'm not used to saying 2022, by the way.
2022. That's what I would say.
2022. 2000, like, again.
2022 is a bit more of a mouthful.
We have an indie game called Planet of Lana coming to Xbox and PC in 2022.
Just another sidebar. When I see 2003 or something now, I'm like 2003. Like, it's bad. Sometimes
I was listening to a podcast we did, and I said that, and I had to stop. And I was like, what am I trying to say here? What's the year?
2007. Yeah, sorry, continue.
We have some Overwatch 2 stuff still happened.
Still
We have
happens.
some Overwatch 2 stuff. We have some new models for Baptiste and Sombra. Again, it's just like, okay, Overwatch, sure.
I mean,
Cool.
listen, they're doing.
Cool.
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
But like not really what we want to see.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the new models are nice.
When did that
Sombra's-
game come out?
Overwatch?
Yeah.
It's like 2016.
Is it really that short ago? What the fuck? I would have felt like it was like 2012 or something. Like, that's insane.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It just feels like it's been in the zeitgeist for so long in some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
Interesting.
Continue.
Yeah, the Baptiste model was pretty different. I mean, they look good, obviously, but
Sure.
it's just like we haven't seen too much about Overwatch 2. Blizzard recently did a thing going over some like a new game mode, and I'm like, it's still not enough. Like,
I didn't even realize it was in development.
really?
Yeah, I didn't even.
But like, there hasn't really been like there was that big announced trailer, which
Yeah.
was awesome, and they showed a lot of new characters and what they're looking like, and it's like, oh yeah, hype. But
Cool.
like, they really still, besides some new models and some of the like this stream the other week, they just really haven't shown much.
That's sad. I didn't. How long has it been? How long? When did they announce that?
2019. Somebody correct me if I'm
Okay,
wrong. in
all right,
chat,
well, that's
I
actually
think.
not as crazy.
2019.
I guess that
like
makes sense.
BlizzCon, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on, we got some Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance gameplay, as well as a Paladin Genlock crossover. Do you know both of those things?
I know
Genlock is a show,
No.
and Paladins is a game.
No. I have no idea.
Moving on. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin was announced that is a Switch exclusive coming on July 9th, 2021, so you don't have to wait too long. This is like one of the Monster Hunter like spin-off games. It's not as big as World.
Makes sense.
Fall Guys got some Nier skins. We have another game called Endless Dungeon we got a look at. PlayStation announced a new studio. They're making a new IP called Deviation Games. I forget exactly what that was about, but we got that. Back for Blood, we got another trailer. Open beta coming August 5th, and it's
That looks really
and
good.
it's releasing on October 12th, 2021.
I'm actually like so pumped to get a few people together and just play.
I
some
hope I want to play it, but again, it's like, can we just get people to fucking play it?
No, I hear you, and
You
it's
know?
tough. No, it's tough, and I'm not gonna act like it's not
Let's
like.
get like 7 people to all buy this game. So.
Well, so that way we have a good. No, that's
Good-
it.
a
We
good
were, you know,
pool
we were
of
playing
human
last
beings.
night. Zach and all of us we were playing. And John, we were playing Halo. We were playing some Halo 5.
John is Halo?
Yeah, well, it was funny because I downloaded it just by chance. Then all of a sudden he invites me to play Halo, and he was wasted. And he's like, "Trio, what's going on?" He's like, "You want to play Halo?" I'm like, "Did you know I was on Halo?" He's like, "No, I know." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, he invited me last night to play something, but I was watching that movie.
I can't. Yeah, we'll talk about Halo. Continue.
Oh yeah, we will talk about Halo. We got a Tunic demo for Xbox.
Tunic?
I played Tunic. It's like a Zelda-like game. You play as like a little fox.
Oh.
I think this was announced like years ago. This game has been in development for a long time, and it looks really cool. And I enjoyed what I played at PAX. Yeah, but there's a demo on
Has
Xbox
the game?
now.
You don't have to tell us what the game is. Has the game come out or been released that you got to play the demo for? That you had to play, like, sign a no.
Yeah, it was with Xbox Game Studios. Oh fuck, Crucible, right? That was called. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it flopped. It came out. It didn't do well.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
And they put it back into beta and they canceled it.
Wow.
Yeah, it did that bad.
What is it? Is it?
It was
what
it was like a battle royale with heroes kind of thing.
Did you find it fun at all while you're playing it?
It was all right. But
That's interesting.
yeah, like again, Amazon Game Studios, like, how do you release a game and then put it back into beta and then cancel it?
I mean, that's like
crazy.
Like, yeah, it's like, what do you mean it's released? You can't. It's not canceled. You already made. Like, it doesn't. That's so weird.
they just canned it. They didn't have the play. It's kind of like
What happens to the people that bought the game though?
Cliff Bleszinski studio Boss Key. What was that game? Lawbreakers.
Oh yeah, that shit the bed, right?
Absolutely, 220% shit the bed.
Jesus.
Like, that game flopped hard. I think like after a week there were like 100 people playing it.
Jesus.
Like it, and like coming, I like Cliff in his prime, but I feel like at that point he was kind of like the washed up game developer, the washed up legend.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like he really like.
He just kind of that was it.
I think they like had it like a good idea and like they just fucked it up. It was way too hardcore, way too difficult to play. Like, there was like a lot of like movement stuff and like movement in the air, on the ground, and like
there was a lot to get your head around. Basically, mechanics wise,
just the game like just didn't pan out well at all. We have Tribes of Midgard, which is coming out, which is like a Norse mythology like Sims, like kind of like Diablo-like game. From what I understand.
Seriously, like, I know you said like a few years back. I think it was when God of War came out. You're like, this Norse stuff is getting too much, and I disagreed then. I did. I felt like back then I didn't know of anything really besides God of War saying that it was a big issue. But now it is true. I will say the Norse stuff has really, like, with Valhalla, with God of War, with all this stuff. Like, I still think that's been my most interested like version. The most interesting version of like a Norse mythology that's been presented though has definitely been God of War for me. Like even
I feel like any game that does God of War, it's like, or no, does Norse mythology, is kind of like, yeah, God of War.
Seriously, like even like Valhalla, like I think they did a lot of cool things, but like.
They're trying to cash in on the fact that people enjoyed God of War, so Norse mythology must be doing good. Plus, we have Thor.
Well, no, that's what I say. Well, but
it's
funny.
It's too much.
But it is interesting because it's like these weird things of like they must know what's good because like Assassin's Creed and like say like a God of War. Like I'm trying to think of how their development schedules would line up in the way of like there has to be some people at other studios telling each other what they're doing, and then is it like are they like, oh well, they're making a Norse game. Man, it looks pretty cool. Should we do a Norse game? Like it's so it's like a chicken before the egg thing. Like what's going
on? Blueberry Bubbly in chat, thanks for watching. Said mentioned that Cliff Bleszinski bought her a drink at PAX, and mentioned how Lawbreakers had a bunch of hype around it. And I think that was mainly just because it was Cliff Bleszinski, you know.
No, I remember the coverage of it being pretty
Unreal,
major.
Starts his career with Unreal, like the original.
He made the Unreal Engine?
Dude,
the game.
Oh,
the game
that
that's
the
right.
engine is based off of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history with
that's
Epic.
So
I
funny,
feel like people don't know. And it's like Epic started with Unreal, Tim Sweeney, Cliff Bleszinski, and like a few others. Like they were the
when
they
was
were the
that,
guard.
in the 90s?
This is in the 90s.
Okay.
And then they make a bunch of Unreal tournaments. They do well. Gears comes out.
Okay.
Cliff Bleszinski, face of Gears, Cliffy B. Like
I remember hearing that name. Like I didn't know who it was, but like you know,
he was on
aware.
the fucking top. And then Gears is done. Cliff leaves, forms his own studio, Lawbreakers, and there was a lot of attention on that game.
I remember. I feel like I remember seeing it at like every E3. It was big, being like ever since it was announced, of course. But like, no, it's interesting. Really interesting to see how that goes down.
Yeah.
I think we do have one more from.
Yeah, she said there was a lot of money thrown behind it.
Gotcha.
I had no idea who Cliff was until I got home. No way.
That's so funny.
Really? Like, come on, Cliff Bleszinski?
Jeez. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Imagine like the ego bruise like that must be like you're at a place where someone should recognize you and they don't.
I mean, I think at this point, Cliff Bleszinski might have faded out of.
He's into obscurity.
Right.
Yeah.
I know he went through a tough time after that.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, which I feel bad for him in a way, but in another way, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
It seems like you're kind of doing this to yourself.
He was very much a Kojima figure, except he was English.
Interesting.
Or not English. He was American.
He was a video
English
game
speaking.
auteur.
I feel like Kojima kind of has this weird like gap because he's Japanese, and it makes. I feel like if he was American and he could speak English well, it might be a different story.
I couldn't even. Yeah, you're right. Who knows?
Like,
no, that's true.
I just
right.
think the gap of not knowledge, like just maybe it's the cultural gap keeps Kojima in this interesting like
obscure light.
No, not obscure light. Keeps him in this like weird like when Kojima announces things, it's always really strange
and funny because especially when he does it himself. You're right because there's the language gap.
Right,
absolutely.
that's what it is. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. No,
and it's just like Kojima, like what are you saying? What's
Yeah.
about 9/11?
Yeah.
We forgot to talk about that in the Death Stranding thing. So they had an announcement about that, or Jeff talking to Kojima about like, hey, like what's the next game? He mentioned 9/11 about 3 times, and the reason he mentioned 9/11 is because he like compared COVID to that kind of like world switch where like 9/11 changed everything.
It changed a lot of our views on how we're doing certain things and how our lives were lived. Absolutely.
Right. And COVID, he was like, COVID is kind of doing the same thing again. And I'm like, yeah, I can agree with that.
No, it's
very much on a world
it is
scale
funny
now.
though to see even like after like seeing the amount of people that are like, we're back. Fuck you, like you know what I'm like. It's just like it's.
And now at point, I think we can proudly say, yeah, we're fucking back.
No, I agree. Like
shit's normal now.
It is, and I don't begrudge anyone for still feeling the need to still take those precautions that are maybe not. They're said to be not necessary anymore, but that's a whole other fucking of like information and bullshit. But yeah, no, it's a weird world, and I agree. That's an interesting idea and thought provoking thing of like. To center it around that, I do think it's interesting how he takes these themes from the greater world and life. I do think he kind of runs into that Zack Snyder effect in the way of he's really trying to push these themes at the cost of sustenance in a game sometimes. Like with Death Stranding again, like I thought like his themes and his ideas were really cool and interesting. But they're a little high level, and I don't even mean this to say like high level of like you need to be smart to understand. But like some people don't want to like go in.
He did kind of say he thought the American audience didn't understand Death Stranding because we weren't as cultured.
I mean, fuck him on that one. Sorry, I don't know. Kojima, you made a weird game that's not that amazing. He didn't say it, and like I think the way he said it was kind of like not. I don't think he was like being those
super
dumb
serious,
Americans
super
can't
serious
understand.
about it, but like I don't know. I think Kojima defends his stuff like to an extent.
And listen, I think it's more respectable to me in the way of like it's just not for them. Like I don't like I'll give him some room on that one. Maybe it was a miscommunication, but I don't like that excuse of like you just don't get it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like
that's usually the issue. It's like, okay, was this like the translation of this? Like I hear what it means, but is that what he meant?
Is that like? And again, he's probably using words to like there are so many different words for one word in different languages and things like that. And like no, it's true.
Real quick on an aside about Kojima, have you seen what's been going around?
No, what?
So there's this game that's really PT like. That originally, like a few months ago, people were like, this is Kojima, and they announced it wasn't Kojima, and the story was put to bed. And now there's a lot of shaky evidence that this studio, Blue Box Games, BB, Bridge Baby, might be Kojima making a Silent Hills game.
Silent Hills or yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
I mean, because
it's called
Konami
Abandoned.
owns that
It's called
IP.
Abandoned.
Okay.
And like it's a Sony-owned studio, and there's a lot, like I won't get into it, but
there's a lot of rumblings.
There's a lot of evidence that like something is going on, and I'm just like,
interesting.
What are you up to, Kojima?
Hey man, like again, he knows how to work the mysterious, and I gotta give him.
I don't even know if this is him.
No, I truly like. We can go off on a whole nother tangent, but I truly think he is like I'm not his like a diehard fan, quote unquote, maybe in the way that you are with him, but like I do see how he is like an auteur in the way of video games, and like I feel like he's one of the only game directors' names that I know.
Besides Death Stranding, he stealth announced PT was under.
No, absolutely.
Joaquin. No, not that was Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, what was that studio? Like 778 something studios, and they didn't label the Fox engine.
Yeah.
They went through all this trouble to hide PT, but they did the same thing with the Phantom Pain. When they released that, it was just the Phantom Pain, and there was no MGS relevancy, and it was Moby Dick Studios, and he went under the name Joaquin Mogrim, and he wore bandages around his face. Like he
likes the theatrics.
He does.
So like I think
yes, he does.
Would it be kind of funny if he spoke like amazing, perfectly fine English and didn't on purpose in front of everyone to be like,
I mean, insane. I don't think Kojima's not a very good English speaker.
No, I'm totally. But it would be funny if you were
seen.
like walking by him backstage and he was speaking completely fine with, and then you're like, Kojima, I'm a big fan. He's like, oh, hello, and then he breaks it.
I think it's.
I think it's legitimate too. Absolutely,
that would be funny.
Yeah.
Let's get back to E3.
Yeah.
We got an Ash vs. the Evil Dead the game trailer trio. Does this do anything for you? It's a 2021 release.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see the trailer. It sounds like at face value something sort of interesting. Like what is it? Is like just a horror game? Or
it's I guess sort of like a Left 4 Dead. Like
sure,
one guy's the villain. There's 4 people. What's that game type called?
Oh, like asymmetric. Yeah.
Asymmetric.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I still will never forget, sidebar, one of the first times I ever got stoned was in Colorado, and we decided to watch Evil Dead. I couldn't do it. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. And now I've watched the new show on Starz. I've watched a few episodes. Pretty funny and just crazy and insane.
That got canceled, right?
I think it did, but I think it had like 3 seasons. But a lot of weird, stupid fun, I gotta say.
Last but certainly not least, I've never seen Jeff Keighley so hype about anything in my life besides his boyfriend, Hideo Kojima. Seriously, Jeff was so excited to announce this game. We got the first glimpse of Elden Ring, the next game from Software.
That's
the
awesome.
next Souls-like game. And it looks like a culmination of everything From has ever done.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Kind of put into one game.
Absolutely.
It really has some Dark Souls-y vibes to it. Somebody was like, it looks like Dark Souls 4. And I was like, yeah, I think that's a good look.
I'd say aesthetics-wise, I would agree. I'd say gameplay-wise, it seems like almost there's some
Breath of the
Sekiro in there. There's Breath of the Wild. There's Bloodborne. There's all of their amalgamation of all these things that they come with.
So are you? I know you're not. I'm more of a Souls fan than you are. I don't think you've ever beaten a Souls game.
I don't think I have either.
Okay.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm pretty deep into Sekiro, and again, it was about the journey for that game for me. Like I really enjoyed playing it. And I thought the story was interesting. It's obviously I didn't finish the game, so maybe you can take that how you will. But
we're called the Tarnish. That's our title in this. Okay. But what are you thinking about Elden Ring? Do you think this is going to be the Souls game you beat or no?
I think it very well could be.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think there's definitely a good chance. I think it's very interesting. I think it's hard to break fantasy tropes, I feel like. And I saw someone and it's to do it in a way that's cool or something. I can't remember what I was listening to. Someone pointed out, it's like, oh, there was a dragon with 4 wings or something. There's kind of some tropes and things that they seem to be breaking in this, and it's cool that they have George R.R. Martin on to help with the story, which is very interesting.
Still interesting to see how that plays out. I feel like that's one thing, since Game of Thrones is finished, I feel like anything George R.R. Martin has seen, he still hasn't finished Winds of Winter, is I don't think anyone is really hype about that anymore, to an extent. I think it was cool when it first got announced, but it's he's writing more of the world. He's not writing the story.
He wrote the lore.
Yes.
Basically a Silmarillion probably for this.
Sure. What's his Game of Thrones lore book? Blood of Dragons or something
like that. Yeah. I think that's genius because I do think he has a pretty good.
Where he should be.
I think he has a great mind for world building in that way and creating these different backgrounds and lores and different ideas. So that's what makes me interested there. It's funny, Game of Thrones, the show, I don't really feel has affected my thinking of him. I think it's insane how he hasn't finished these books, and I don't understand what's going on there.
What is he doing?
I don't know.
He's working on Elden Ring.
Yeah, he's been working. I guess he's just I'll take a break, work on Elden Ring.
Fuck
you guys will get it when you get it. Shut the fuck up. But
literally.
Seriously. And
literally.
That's fine. But I think there's, to answer your question, yes, I think this is the one I could see myself finishing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I want to see
January 2022.
Gotcha.
I forget the day, but that's the...
And especially if it has a digestible story in the way of Sekiro's, like I would definitely see myself finishing it. Absolutely. And the stealth mechanics, I think that's a lot of fun too. So I'm excited. I definitely am. I'm not like over the moon or anything, but anything
and
like that.
Jeff, to cap it off, announced that the Game Awards will be in person this year. So I'm hyped about that.
That's awesome. And by the way, Elden Ring, that's cross-platform, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Next up, then Saturday, this is the official beginning of E3. We have Ubi Forward, which is Ubisoft's new state of play. What
Sure,
they're calling
their
the thing
pro-
when
their
they go,
conference.
hey, we got some games to talk about.
Yep.
It's called Ubi Forward. Again, mostly all digital event. The only event that was actually in person at all was Xbox's. But anyway, so we got our first look at Rainbow Six Extraction, which has been renamed from Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Oh.
So obviously with COVID, they renamed the game.
Who could have fucking... It was quarantine?
Yeah.
What an awful chance. Like, what are the chances?
I mean, I don't even think Extraction's like a bad alternative.
No, I think that's completely fine. It's just more funny of like, imagine all the marketing they might have had set
You
up for
know
that.
Immortal Phoenix Rising?
Yeah.
That game was called Gods and Monsters, maybe, before that.
Sure.
And that's like going from like that to like Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on?
Like, what is that? But anyway, we got a cinematic and gameplay trailer. This game is coming out on the 16th of September. Basically, it is a PvE only game. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but like on crack.
Okay.
You play as the Siege operator, so they're bringing in what they've learned with Siege, those mechanics, those
Love it.
operators. They're
I mean,
bringing
that
them in.
game was so successful.
And
right?
I actually compared it to Hive Busters from Gears.
Okay.
Where you're in a hive or an area with a bunch of monsters. You have to go in, complete an objective, and get out.
Interesting.
So I kind of compared it to that. It looks cool. I mentioned earlier that I had played Siege recently, and I just can't get into it. And that's because we're so far deep in that game. There's way too much going on for any new person
to just jump right in and
I
be
just
fine,
could,
yeah.
and like me of all people,
Yeah.
like I could not grasp this game at all. I'm like,
Jesus.
there's just way too much going on. And I'm like, how am I supposed to understand what like 30 fucking operators do?
That's crazy.
I guess I just fucking play.
I was going to say, or you just pick 5 and stick with them. Like,
yeah, there's just too much going on.
And there's individual things going on with each operator. Like they each have their own
they all have
kinda-
their own, abilities, just like Apex.
Sure.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Think like that.
All right.
So this game looks interesting. They kind of talked about like the monsters and the different level of enemies and like their kind of like difficulty tier as you go
Absolutely.
in. They're more difficult. They're more, Did I say difficult?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more difficult and also a bit more difficult, and it's a lot of fun.
Does
I gotta
that
say.
interest you at all?
Sort of. Not. I'm not. It sounds interesting. Am I gonna buy it? No.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I guess.
That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Rocksmith Plus.
That's cool. I didn't realize that
So
was yeah.
basically, remember Rocksmith.
Absolutely.
So for those who don't know what Rocksmith is essentially a guitar learning software. I especially what I've seen with Rocksmith Plus, which they showed, I wouldn't call it a game.
No, yeah, it seems like it's like an
it's
actual
game-like, but it is not a game. And it's going to be in PC for a closed beta. It's going to be on like not Apple devices, mobile devices as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically teaches you how to play guitar with a real guitar.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking at this and I'm like, this is really cool, but I'm not sure E3
was the place to be showing it.
it's a good place to show off something like this, but
Yeah.
it's not a game.
No, you're right. It's a learning software.
It's a learning software platform.
Yeah.
That you can go in and like, this is really cool, but like it's not a video game.
No, it's not.
This is
It's
a
like
very niche
it's
audience
very-
that you're kind of showing this to.
I guess it borders on video game enough to where I guess I feel like they can kind of get away with it, but it is an interesting point. It's very. I don't know.
Next up, we have a Rainbow Six Siege update. We are 6 years into Siege. We are finally getting crossplay and cross progression. This is coming. The game is coming to PC. Wait. Oh, the cross progression is coming to PC, Stadia, and Amazon Luna on June 30th. It is coming later to consoles in 2022. And we also got an animated trailer for a new operator called Thunderbird. And she was like a Native American kind of pilot person.
That's cool. I like that. Almost like what what were the guys who
Code talkers?
Yeah, the Navajo code talkers.
I knew exactly what you were talking about,
God,
but I
feel
just
like-
wanted to make sure.
yeah.
Yeah, like MGS5. We had some live updates from some games coming out. For Honor Mirage.
Ooh, I missed that.
You missed it. Okay, so I guess it's a new content update.
Oh, really? All right, I'll have to
Yeah.
look into it. I kind of stopped playing the last couple days.
Trackmania, Brawlhalla, The Crew 2, Watch Dogs Legion, Bloodline is coming out, and it features Aiden Pierce and Wrench
That's
from
kind
Watch
of
Dogs
interesting.
1 and 2, respectively.
I just saw something the other. What was that supposed to be? I think I saw this article the other day that Watch Dogs was originally supposed to be like an IP game, and they changed it.
What do you mean IP?
Based on an existing IP.
Yeah, shit.
You know
I
what I'm talking
exactly
about?
What you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I
No. It
thought
was supposed to be like a Splinter Cell. No, it was supposed to be. I know what it is.
What?
It's supposed to be Ubisoft's GTA. That's what it was supposed to be. That's what their idea behind Watch Dogs was.
I thought I saw something like it was literally supposed to be like an IP led game, like that. I thought it was like something like Fast and Furious. Let me continue. We'll do a little research.
So next up, it's not a Ubisoft conference without Just Dance. 2022 is coming out on November 4th on probably everything under the sun, even Wii. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on Wii still. Assassin's Creed Valhalla: Siege of Paris is releasing. The first update was called War of the. Was it like War of the Druids or Wrath of the Druids or something like that? As you're reading,
I think so. I'm sorry, I totally. So like Watch Dogs, it was originally designed as a game in Ubisoft's Driver series.
that was it. Yeah.
Was that like I thought I
Remember
saw
like
that,
Driver 3?
I think so.
Driver from like
Interesting.
PS2 days.
and then they just were like, yeah, it's a new thing. Sorry, didn't mean to derail.
Yeah, it's okay. So have you played Valhalla at all before I go into other things?
Wait, for Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Like recently.
not recently. No, I get like, it's funny because I do see a lot of this love online for it. I actually don't think it's completely undeserving. There's a lot of things about Valhalla that I love, but it's just too fucking long, Ubisoft.
And you know, it's getting even longer because guess what? They're supporting it for a second year.
No, and like honestly,
That I found very interesting.
I think it's
what
very-
does that mean?
like,
You know, for the future of Assassin's Creed, is there not? I mean, we're definitely
wait,
not.
they're
getting
supporting it for another year?
Yes.
Oh well, but I mean that's what they did for Odyssey.
No, this seems a little bit more. We're gonna put out more expansions.
Oh, like so. Okay, that makes
Like
sense.
not just like obviously they're
We're gonna
supporting
keep
the game,
yeah.
but like we're gonna put out more big DLC expansions in year 2.
Like one thing I will give to Ubisoft, like if you can only buy, like some kids, like we're lucky, we can buy as many games a year as we want. Like,
I mean, sure.
and we're, like, I mean, lucky in the way of like we have the expendable income to do so. When you're a kid, when you're younger, you might only have enough to get 1 or 2 games every couple months, maybe. And I guess Ubisoft, they do know how to give you at least some bang for your buck with these games. You can play them for a long time. I just guess it's coming from someone that like doesn't spend a lot or doesn't, not that I don't spend a lot on games, a lot of time on games, but like I want to be able to move on to my next one. And I don't know, I guess it's a weird little thing. And also the glitches in that game really, they fucked me over twice. So I've been kind of, perturbed.
So the Siege of Paris expansion is going to be in Worn-Torn. I think it's Francia. I think that's what France is called before it's called France.
I think it's Francia, but I could be wrong.
Anyway, it's coming this summer. We're getting the Discovery Tour for the Viking Age. It's coming this fall. Remember what they did with the educational thing with
I think that's
Origins?
cool. I think that's really cool. I just
Yeah.
hit my mic. Sorry if you heard that.
We talked about the second year support, and the expansion involves Odin in year 2.
Again, that whole Odin story, like, I don't even know if she becomes an assassin by the end of the game.
He would have to tell me.
I don't like. I mean, I'm pretty deep into it, and like, there's, I don't know. We can. That's a whole other thing.
I'm mad.
I'm sad, really, more than anything.
We got a clip from a movie called Werewolves Within. It is a horror comedy, and it's in theaters and on-demand apps this summer.
That classic TV show at an E3 event.
Sure. Ubisoft, sure. We got some Far Cry 6 gameplay with some post-launch DLC news. We're getting a Far Cry villain mode where we'll get to play as Voss from Far Cry 3, the dude Troy Baker plays from 4, and the dude in 5. They're coming back for like a DLC.
A little. We don't want to say the movie because we'll announce. But did you notice someone in that movie last night from The Mandalorian.
Yes,
You
I'm
did?
very aware.
It's funny. I did not I was like, oh shit, that's him. Oh, it's funny. I didn't realize he was like around that early. But continue.
And then
Giancarlo.
Far Cry 3 Blood Dragging is getting re-released in Far
saw
Cry
that.
6.
Do you think it's getting to any type of update or anything, like graphics wise or anything like that?
I would
or?
imagine so.
Yeah.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope reveal trailer and gameplay that is coming 2022. As a Switch owner, Trio, are you going to get Mario plus Rabbids?
No, I am not. I will say that's not on my list. So they didn't even announce a new Mario. We'll get in.
We'll shit talk Nintendo in a bit.
Yeah.
And finally, to cap it off, no, it's not Beyond Good and Evil 2 gameplay. We haven't seen that in a few years. It's Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. What the actual fuck?
This game has been in development for like 5 years.
Who wants to play this? And I understand. Avatar is a big movie franchise. It's only one movie. And it's still it has usurped Endgame as the top grossing movie of all time. But I don't who fucking cares about I'm asking, I'm not saying.
No, yeah.
Who fucking cares about Avatar? Who wants an Avatar game?
Who wants 4 more movies? But we're gonna get it.
I know.
Like I don't like.
And,
so,
and that's the best part about this. It's like we still haven't gotten a sequel.
I
to
guess
it.
it's
So,
funny
like,
because
what
I'm
the
not
fuck?
like I'm at this point where I'm like, there's not much to go on from this trailer. It looks like it's gonna be like a third-person action game. If I had to guess, I don't know though for sure. Actually, I might have seen somewhere online that it is first-person, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not very interested in the Avatar lore. Like I think that movie does a lot of
Avatar lore.
That's why, like, I'm not really that interested in
It's
that
like
world.
funny
And
just
then,
to
like,
even say.
and I get it's cool. It's like Native American, like space Native Americans. They kind of seem like for like,
Sure.
and I'm like, that's cool. Like, it seems like there's gonna be a lot of this kind of like maybe guerrilla fighting style tactic, and they're gonna be using it. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot. Like,
As of now, I'm not getting this game.
As of right now, I'm not either. For sure.
Avatar is like one of the most overrated movies. Like it's
funny though.
It's a movie that exists in the zeitgeist, but like, does it really?
But I don't think it is overrated because I feel like every person I talk to has the exact same reaction you do.
But like, why is it so big?
Because
That's what I'm saying.
Because
That's
it was
question.
because I think it was the biggest grossing movie ever before Endgame, and then with its re-release, it overtook it again. But it was true. I do remember seeing that in movie theaters, and I was like, there's one scene where they're like getting out of the pods, and I saw it in 3D, and I was like, whoa. Like it was really cool, and I remember like walking out there thinking the experience was cool, but I never was like that story was engaging. It was more of how it was filmed and like what was going on. And listen, I'm not gonna write James Cameron off. Like he's done some incredible things, and he's a crazy filmmaker, and he knows to commit in weird spots. So Avatar 2, 3, 4, and fucking 5 could come out, and we could be like, this is amazing. I don't think so, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and apparently has a lot to do with this game too. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Next up, we had Gearbox Entertainment.
I mean, literally, like nothing happened here.
Nothing.
Like he brought out like Eli Roth, right? To
So
talk about the movie.
there was a big behind the scene. I can't believe Randy Pitchford was in this press conference to begin with all the controversy going on with him.
Why? What's happening with him?
So apparently he was in possession of child pornography. There was
that
whole
little thing?
embezzling money from Gearbox.
Gooch, I don't see what the issue is here.
I think Randy Pitchford is just like a little too loud on Twitter for his own good, and he's just kind of become like, you're kind of a dick, dude.
He's a dick and almost like it sounds like a parody of himself.
I think he's a
in way.
little too uppity. He's a little too big-headed. And yeah, so he's showing us basically he's behind the scenes of the Borderlands movie, showing us absolutely nothing. We saw.
I can't believe
I was waiting. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a trailer for this. That's cool.
Or at least maybe a cast
we
photo.
had him
Like, I don't know.
awkwardly talk to Kevin Hart, and he went for a high five, and he didn't get a high five.
From Kevin, he didn't.
No.
Oh,
It's me.
It was rough. Yeah,
it
like,
was rough. It was awkward. And yeah, Eli Roth talked, but they didn't say anything about it. They blurred out who was playing the girl who was playing Tiny Tina. Like she was in the shot, but totally blurred out. And I'm like,
what are you guys doing?
I'm like, if you're gonna show something like that, at least show a trailer,
or
something.
a teaser, or an image of everyone in their costumes. Maybe, I don't know. Like,
right, something.
It does
was
seem
such
like
a missed opportunity.
I'm super curious about that movie. In the way
I literally
of,
have one thing under here.
Well, hit me with it. Let's just get it.
It's the Godfall stuff. But they talked about Tiny Tina again. they talked about Wonderlands again, and they showed nothing. They said nothing new. There was nothing new. They had a dev or the creative director or like the executive producer like talk about it, and they said nothing. And I was just like, why would you show this again? Why would you show it with Jeff and then show it a few days later and show nothing?
I don't know.
And just
my
like
absolute mind.
like this was just like again. I think this is just like this year of E3 is weird, and like a lot of companies are taking opportunities to maybe try and do something. And I think it's just like we look at Gearbox and it's like, no,
This is how you don't do it.
this is not how you do an E3 press conference. This is boring. The Godfall stuff. Godfall did so bad it's coming to PS4, and I said LOL next to it. It is cross-gen. The PS5 upgrade will be free if you play it on PS4. And in Darkness and Fire expansions coming out. More endgame content is coming out on the 10th of August. Matchmaking. Believe it or not, Godfall did not have matchmaking. It's getting matchmaking.
That's insane.
There's new realms, which is new areas, new trophies, and there's a free update alongside with the expansion called Lightbringer, which is probably just like QOL stuff.
Sure.
As a Godfall player and a person who's played Godfall, I platinumed Godfall. I guess I will be going back to get these trophies. I guess
Christ.
I will be playing this expansion. Godfall is a good game from a combat perspective. Its gameplay is really good, but everything else sucks.
Godfall. What was? Is
It
Godfall
looks pretty.
The new one?
It looks pretty and plays well.
So this was the PS5
Exclusive.
game?
Yeah.
And it's coming to PS4 now. PlayStation.
Unreal.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I really don't. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
Double downing on AAA studios is what they're doing.
but like even just bringing it backwards. Like, what was that game $70 if you want to buy it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we don't even have a conference today. I'm gonna have to shit on them in the Xbox conference. God damn, like it's just so like it blows my mind, guys. Like,
It's unreal. It's kind of just looking at it and it's like, what?
that's what I mean. Like, I literally was just speechless. I couldn't.
I can
think,
understand them announcing new Godfall stuff. That's great, but like it's
bringing it,
coming to
porting it
PS4
backwards?
because it didn't make that much money. You're gonna try to double down on like the bigger audience. Ugh, crazy.
But like, it's funny because like this never happened before. Like, that's what's blowing my mind with all this of like in the way this generate, and maybe I'm like an old fogey, whatever. Like, it shouldn't change, but like with the way the console generations are working now, and like, so you're telling me you can port this PlayStation 5 game back to PlayStation 4? It shouldn't be that much of an issue. Why am I buying a new console? Like, I get it, and I shouldn't say that. There's obviously reasons to buy a new console when it comes to like how a game runs. Sure, that's fun, but like when you can't get anything fundamentally different on it, what am I doing? I don't know. That's my rant. I'm done. PlayStation. God damn it.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Xbox and Bethesda, the big whammy.
For real.
We
Yeah.
start out. Our boy Todd Howard walks on the stage.
It just works.
You know what's about to happen. Starfield. We get our second teaser trailer. It is coming 11/11/22 as an Xbox console exclusive.
Civ.
Xbox didn't buy that IP for nothing, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
They bought it to put an exclusive on it. And boy, Trio, what are you thinking about Starfield?
So I saw two quotes online. I think it was from like Pete Hines and the game director. One was, it's a Han Solo simulator. Awesome. I love that little thing. The other one was, I think it was from Todd Howard. He's like, it's Skyrim in space. I'm like, both sound amazing to me. It seems like it's tough to obviously gather a lot from a CGI trailer, but like I'm assuming you are going to have your own ship that you can use to travel to different planets in this galaxy of some kind. It seems like it's going to be their kind of RPG style. I want to see the old vocal or the old what's it called system, the dialogue system come back. That's going to be a big thing for me. I am as giddy as a schoolgirl, Gooch. I can't wait. What about you?
I'm excited. I think Starfield has a big opportunity to kind of be a hybrid between Fallout and Skyrim, but also be something completely on its own. I mean,
they keep saying the tag of like it's been in development for like they've had this idea for 25 years or something, right?
Is that what they're saying?
I think that's what he
Is that
said.
what Todd said?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Cut me off whenever Todd
Exactly.
has something to say. Yeah, I think Starfield is gonna like, I think it's gonna do really well. I think Starfield is gonna break some boundaries, and I think it will it will be a reason to buy.
It will be
Xbox.
a system seller.
It will be a system seller.
I saw God of War coming out for PlayStation 4, and I already had a PlayStation 4. But you know who got a PlayStation 4 for like God of War? I think didn't Casey get one? Like I feel like I heard of people that got, or was it before?
I'm
that?
sure there are cases within our groups.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like where you see this game and Xbox is realizing it, or has realized it now. Exclusives sell hardware. They do, and I kind of hate exclusives because everyone doesn't get to play them.
you can play it on PC.
I do think that's
it's on
legitimate.
PC. It's not locked to just Xbox.
But
that's Xbox's move.
Hey,
yeah.
and Xbox, thank you for exclusively being next gen on that one.
And real quick, I'm pretty sure every game, I don't know about Starfield, every game we're going to talk about
that's available at launch.
day one on Game Pass.
Yes. So is Starfield.
And on PC.
Yeah.
Is Starfield's day one on Game Pass?
Yeah, because it's an exclusive, because it's a Microsoft-owned studio now.
Xbox pretty much has lined themselves up to, like, what else do you have to say?
Well, but and when you see
with this whole lineup, like, you can pay $10 a month, and in a month you'll probably get your money's worth for like 2 or 3 years. Especially with Starfield,
you will
Stalker,
but even like
Back for Blood, Battlefield,
it's
Fallout
$10
76 is on there. Halo,
let's just do the math for you here really quick, because obviously you can't. No, you obviously can. $10 a month, $120 a year. That means to get your money out of that, you have to play 2 games out of that entire year on Game Pass. And I get it. You know what? You don't own it, and I understand that kind of sentimentality, and I understand wanting to actually own the game that you want.
I'm not a Game Pass user.
No,
I buy everything.
He does, but like,
but like for somebody who like wants the game on the cheap, and like you want to play on console or even PC, like it just makes sense to get it.
And then like the great thing is, if you like it, you can purchase it and then you own it forever. Like
Right.
like
Like,
it's
if you
like
really
it's
wanna
truly
do
like
that.
I don't know, but like truly, Agush, I do think this is a major move for Xbox. I think having an exclusive like this is
what they need.
Is what
they've
need.
been saying about we're gonna deliver on the game.
And I feel like they've been delivering on the user friendliness. I feel like, and just the whole community and system that is Xbox. And now they need to bring in the games.
I feel like this is the first press conference that Xbox has kind of really shown. Okay, we've been talking about new games for a lot, but they're showing them now. Like they're finally coming to fruition. Yeah, I'm excited for Starfield. I don't know I don't think there's anybody who's like down on Starfield. Like come the fuck on.
I can't even
it's gonna be
well, but
great.
no, and it's fun. I do see this like. It was funny. I was reading the comments. Do you want to answer that really quick?
Yeah, Intrude in Twitch chat, thanks for watching, asked me, do I buy games on disc or digital? Baby, it's physical, it's on a disc,
And
it's
then he'll
in my
complain for
fucking hands,
then he'll
baby.
complain for 2 days when it doesn't get shipped on the day that it's supposed to.
Amazon and Best Buy have been fucking me lately, not delivering games on the launch date, and I'm like, I got Ratchet on launch day. Why not everything else?
I mean, you
Why
could just
not Mass
preload
Effect?
it like a
Why
regular.
not Returnal? And I'm like, I like don't buy games at GameStop, mainly because like I was in the mentality of like I work at the office from 9 to 5 instead of now I just work over there from 9 to 5 because of COVID. And yeah, and it's just like, well, I don't want to go to GameStop at the end of the day. It's kind of a little bit out of my way. By the time I get home from work, my game will be on my doorstep.
Yeah, but then you got to download it, and that's
I
gonna
don't
be
fucking care.
You crazy fuck.
I get hyped sitting there watching it download.
That's fair. No, I understand.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I Jesus Christ. But Bethesda, this whole purchasing thing, like, I don't know. You need exclusives. I think it really does make a difference. Unless both of them say we're not getting exclusives. It does suck for people who can't get both consoles, though. I do understand that.
All right, next up, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl gameplay. That is, again, another console exclusive. It is coming April 28th, 2022. This game is very far out, but it's Metro. The Stalker series is pretty beloved for many a year. Tria, I know you're pretty excited.
It looks really cool, man.
This is like our Russian Yakuza. You know what I mean?
Is it really?
In the sense of like, Yakuza games a lot of the older ones are all in Japanese. There's no English VO.
Oh, I see what you mean. In the way
Stalker was only shown to us with Russian VO, and I'm not even sure if they're gonna have, or maybe it's Ukrainian. I'm not sure what they're speaking, but if they didn't have English voice acting, I'd be like, good for you guys, because I think that's much more immersive. Like, I know in Metro, realistically, like, I'm gonna play in English. I should probably play in Russian.
Do they have Russian VO for that? I didn't even know.
I'm sure they do.
You're right.
It's made over there.
Duh. Obviously,
of course, obviously.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I should. Yeah, huh. That's awesome. Again, it does. it brings you more immersion. Absolutely, to live in the world where everyone is speaking the language where they're supposed to be from, or you Valkyrie it and they speak German for like 5 minutes and then it like cuts to just perfect English accents.
Valkyrie
With Tom Cruise.
Oh. Yeah,
it's like the first the first 5 minutes are they're all speaking German, but then it like does a fade and then everyone's speaking English.
We translated it for you. Yeah, but this looks really cool. I'm excited. Metro Exodus was like the best Metro game of the three, and I'm excited to see what Stalker can do. I've never played the original Stalker. I think like one of the games is like the Shadow of Pripyat, but it's a really old series.
Okay,
so like I would imagine you don't need to play the first one to play it. It seems like you can understand the premise of all of it.
Awesome.
Pretty well from just like, oh, it's Metro. It's like, okay, I get it.
Sense.
Back for Blood gameplay. I think we already talked about this. We're pretty hype about it.
Yep.
October 12th, 2022. We got a new IP called Contraband, which really we didn't see much of. Trio, do you remember this one? We're kind of in the shed with the truck. It seemed like weird mold on the side of the truck.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is you're like
there's
drug
music. It's like, what's going on?
I think you're drug runners.
Interesting.
With the front, like
yeah.
I think it is something along those lines.
Cool.
But I don't know. I don't really have much to say on it.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about it. Yeah. Sea of Thieves, a pirate's life featuring the cast of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude, this actually got me hyped.
Dude, how can Square Enix not get Johnny Depp for the Pirates of the Caribbean world? But Sea of Thieves can? Who? What? What do you mean? Like, come on.
It's so good. Like I'm like, oh my god, they're doing fucking pirate.
That's a crazy.
I'm not gonna
move.
lie. That made me be like, well, I might download Sea of Thieves with my friends. Yeah, like,
that's gonna get a lot of people into Sea of Thieves.
I think it absolutely will. They've stuck. I gotta give it to Xbox.
It's coming in a few days, the 22nd.
They stuck with
this
that shit,
podcast actually might be out by the time it's out.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
Are you gonna?
Maybe. I mean, again, I have Game Pass. I can download it for fucking free. Who cares?
Oh yeah, you can.
Motherfuckers.
Next up, we got the Battlefield 2042 gameplay trailer. So we got to see sort of the announcement cinematic trailer earlier in the week, and then we got to see the gameplay trailer for the next Battlefield game, Trio. Are you getting this or not?
Yeah. I'm gonna be getting this. It looks really. I'm very excited. I like the idea of going into the future.
Let's do it.
It's kind of sad that there's no campaign, but then again, I didn't play Battlefield.
See, I wouldn't
once,
call
so
it the
like,
future. It's 20 years from now.
So it's slightly the future.
It's slightly the future, and I kind of like that. I'm like, okay, like we're a forward.
It's somewhat
years,
advanced,
but like it's still embedded in the
stuff we have today,
the modern realm. Which I like, because I was like, just give me an M4,
I agree.
baby.
I agree.
Let me put that holographic sight on. Let me just kill
Let's
some
fucking
people.
go.
Like, let me give me. I need that modern FPS. Like something about the modern FPS games. Like after a while, I'm just like, give it to me, baby. I think the storms look cool, like the Levolution stuff with like
so it looks like
erratic storms coming in.
And so I'm assuming there's something there, and the idea is like the climate has fucked everything up, so there's these big interesting.
It's like a World War III between Russia and U.S. like Battlefield usually is.
It is fun. Like, why would they not do like
China?
Yeah, like
that would be like a.
You're right. They wouldn't. They wouldn't
move.
I mean, they would never do that because
the Russians are like,
No, but I do think it's just funny.
I remember the Cold War.
Yeah, like the Russians would start World War III. Pshaw. Anyways, continue.
Next up, we got 12 minutes. This is the game with
James McAvoy and Daisy Ridley.
And
I didn't realize they were announced at the beginning. That really
I don't think I realized that either.
I didn't realize like.
So this is like a top-down kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like a detective game, but it's like something. I guess it's 12 minutes in this room and these people get killed and pretty much you're trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I thought it was more that there's so many different ways you can go about those 12 minutes and how it can end and get like I didn't think you were trying to like investigate. I thought you were like
I think you're trying not to die. I think that's the point. I'm not exactly sure.
it looks very interesting.
Yeah,
Actually,
it does look cool. It's coming out in August. And what also is coming out in August is Psychonauts 2. Do you have any affinity for Psychonauts? Tim Schafer game from back in the day.
I don't know what it is.
You probably know what it is.
I've heard the name, but
right.
what's the game? Like,
it's like a Ratchet and Clank like platformer.
Okay.
Like that, like a early PS2 kind of game.
Sure.
Jack and Daxter.
Okay.
Vibe. Sly Cooper vibe.
Random sidebar. Why don't they do anything with Jack and Daxter?
Because Naughty Dog will never go back to that IP. They have to give it to somebody else. Naughty Dog is too big for that IP.
I guess why not give it? I guess you don't want to. I don't know. Interesting. I didn't know that they made that. So that's make it a sense.
Doom Eternal is getting the Xbox XS optimization that's coming out in July.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I might be jumping back in.
And I think it's on PlayStation as well.
Awesome.
But they just had it here because, Bethesda. Fallout 76 Steel Rain is coming July 7th. This is the next expansion for 76. And we're also getting the Pit Expedition. I don't think with this update, but at some point. I know a lot of people who just like downloaded 76 again. It's like, what is it with this game?
Dude,
why
it's funny because that's what I wanted to speak to earlier. Like, because
I played 76 for a while.
It's weird. Like when I was seeing stuff on like Starfall, like on like the comments under like I don't know, like an IGN post or even anything, like people are like, this is gonna suck. Remember 70? There's like this weird like all of a sudden turnaround of hate for Bethesda, and like everyone's like, they've just released patchy, buggy games that no one can ever play, and it's not even. I'm like, who is lying to them? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like Bethesda games were always perfect, and I did run into a lot of bugs, but I think they give you a ludicrous amount of saves and ways to, because they know that that's going to happen. But like, I love most of those games, and like, it's been this kind of weird turn I feel like I see in some like circles of like Bethesda's a shit developer, and I feel like it's kind of stems from 76, which, to be fair, I really don't feel like they mismarketed at all. I did not find like they were like, there's going to be no NPCs. And you're going to be in a Fallout world with all your friends. I was like, okay, I don't think that sounds good. No, thank you. And then everyone kind of got upset when that's what they released. So
it was just the game wasn't up to par.
No, but like, again, it's just more like, I feel like people were looking for things when that came out that were never promised to begin with. I'm not saying not all of them were. There definitely probably was.
I don't
things.
think I wouldn't agree or disagree with you. I think you're what you have a valid
sure.
point.
And I guess that's why I don't know if I'm hoping everyone's excited for these games like a Starfield and stuff like that. I don't understand. I don't necessarily totally not understand it, but like they're not beyond reproach, of course, Bethesda. But I don't know. It's interesting stuff.
I'll go back if there's achievements. That's it.
Sure.
Party Animals is coming in 2022. That is a what Human Fall Flat is?
Yes, I played it.
It's like Human Fall Flat, but like everyone's animals. And
is that the one that you were like is this Human Fall Flat? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I was like, this is hilarious. Yeah. Like I could watch this trailer. I was like, I'll watch that trailer again.
I love it.
Want to replay that? Yeah. It looked fun. Party game you play with your friends.
Sure.
Hades is coming to console August 13th, 2021. The roguelike from Supergiant.
It looks actually kind of cool, I will say.
Somerville coming in 2022. This is a limbo inside like game, like you're walking around as people, kind of looks like. Not too much to really tell about it. But Trio, have any interest in this one?
Not particularly. It doesn't really stand out to me even in memory.
All right.
I don't mean him.
No, not about that. I was for the next one. All right.
Oh, gotcha.
Halo Infinite. Just pour the whole fucking thing. Just pour the rest of it.
You can't. It's not gonna fit. Oh, it's gonna fit.
I bet it got some ASMR in there.
You're welcome. Anyways,
Halo Infinite. Let's talk about the campaign glimpse first. We were talking about this on our most recent recording of E3, which won't be out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's Halo. I mean, there looks like a lot of cool, interesting stuff. I don't think
I'm ready. I'm ready.
it's funny. Like, I feel like they do a great job of waiting so long in between games like this that, like, I'm just hyped to get a new one. I don't think they really have. Like, I think they're gonna do some new things. There's obviously the grappling hook. There's the way certain like power ups work and things like that now. But it feels like Halo in a good way. It feels like they're adding some new spice into it that it needs for a new game. Of course, I still wish the campaign was fully next gen, but I understand why. I think it's interesting that they're making multiplayer free to play and that like they're going to kind of build off it that way. But we'll see. I don't know, Goose. What are you thinking?
The campaign looks great. Again, I'm talking about the campaign just for now.
Sure.
I think we're definitely going to dip into that chief story that I've been talking about. Do you want to put on the fan?
No, I'm fine. Seriously.
Okay.
I don't want to know. Like I'm
True.
I'm going to be hot all the time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean it's kind of going up. It's been going up and down the whole podcast, to be honest. Like I kind of, you level out. And then it starts going back up again. If it starts getting bad, I'll get up and just turn it on.
Yeah, I think like what we're looking at with Master Chief. I really hope this is the culmination of his story with him and Cortana. Like it looks like they're really delving into this idea that like Cortana is not like something's going on with Cortana, whether she's evil or not. We don't really know. But like the Chief kind of needs Cortana to like keep him human. If anything, but like they represent Master Chief as this like apex of humanity, and both like within like the universe and by people. Like he evolves in Halo 4. Like remember the librarian kind of like ascends him. I don't even know what to call it. What am I trying to say? I
lost train of thought. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see what happens with Master Chief in the end of this. Like, I want to see Cortana and Chief's story kind of finish and, like, what closure that gives us with his story. Is he going to die? Like, what's going to happen? I don't know.
Are we going to see his face?
Right. But I really think we need to cap this off and do this right. Like, this story, like, 4 and 5 were not very good games. Halo Infinite needs to be like the best game it can physically be. Period. Like there's no right around this.
I mean,
one.
this is
like this is it. And we see like this Cortana like AI kind of like come on the screen, and it sounds like Master Chief might have some amnesia or something like that, and he's like talking to this like Cortana like AI that he was like supposed to retrieve her, or she was supposed to retrieve Cortana, and Cortana was supposed to be deleted, and like this AI was supposed to take her place, and this AI sounds exactly like Cortana pretty much, and it's like, okay, like are we gonna have you good?
Yeah, I didn't realize the feet come off.
Did both feet come off?
Yeah.
All right, just fucking get your ass back here. Yeah, like are we gonna have this like fake Cortana sounding AI with us the whole time? I don't know, but that sounds kind of interesting. To hear, so that dynamic is so integral to Halo.
It's the same voice actor?
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't. Oh wow. She sounded like she had a different cadence or something going on.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, but it's definitely the same voice actor. And that's all we got for the campaign. Not much, no release date, but what we did get was more multiplayer. And boy, going into what you said, the grappling hooks looks awesome. Like this game just has like a new coat of paint on it that
much needed.
That it like. I think Halo 5 is like one of the most polished first-person shooters of last generation.
So good.
It's fucking fantastic, and I feel like it's very underrated, but I feel like Halo Infinite needs to be that times 10. It needs to it doesn't need to be Halo 3, but it needs to be like this fucking incredible FPS experience that will
last for years to come.
Is selling you an Xbox Series X.
Absolutely.
It needs to be
But again, it doesn't sell you a Series X. It sells you a Series S. That's all you'd need. I mean that in the way that's all you need. You know what I mean?
Like I guess a better way to put it, knowing what we know with Xbox, is it needs to get you in the Xbox ecosystem. Whether that's Game Pass, whether you're on PC, whether you're buying. No,
and they do seem more focused on
Halo.
that.
Halo will hopefully get you into the ecosystem if you're not already in it already.
Well, and I will say what I
Day one on Game Pass, free multiplayer. Yeah. What more do you need? You know.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's crazy.
I can't really speak too much more.
Can you believe that Halo multiplayer is fucking free?
Well, in today's day and age, kind of. Like
Sure.
if you told me that 5 years ago that were going to be the case, I'd laugh in your face.
Right.
But like now in the world we live in and how things are just working out, it makes sense to me for sure. But I'm excited. I do again, like, I'm curious as to see what the campaign does. I'm not really thrilled about an open world, if I'm going to be honest. I like the level orientation that Halo usually goes with, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely excited. Halo is Halo. Even when it's bad, it's still kind of good. I guess that's maybe not true with Halo 4, but still.
Blueberry Bubbly in chat again. Thank you for watching. Mentions the Halo esports scene also needs Halo Infinite to be successful. The community is there, just needs a boost. Yeah, Halo 3 and 2 like started MLG and like esports. It's like I feel like there's a point in time where like Halo 2 and 3 were like esports
That was it.
there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not wrong in saying
No,
that.
I think
but,
so.
Like I remember when like MLG like game battles
Was the
a
thing, yeah.
in like those days. Yeah, I feel like Halo can be a new platform for a new esports game or a new esports scene, a revitalization in that franchise. Yeah,
Interesting.
There's a lot riding on this game. I think
There is. It really
it's
has
so
to be
unprecedented.
Well, I think there's a lot riding. I think the multiplayer is a shoo-in, personally.
I hope it is.
Like I
you know?
don't really see it being like hitting in a way and really be like if they take what they're saying, like the core of Halo 5 and doing the things that they're doing, I don't see it not being a hit. Now the single player, on the other hand, that's where my question's at. That's where I think it does. There's a lot riding on that way and that.
Right.
But I don't know if the Halo multiplayer will ever disappear.
And we still don't have a date. And we were talking the other day, and I think the reason they don't have a date is because they want to be able to delay it a week or two if they need to. I think it's still in that, it's still coming out this year. I really believe that. But if they need to delay it a week, a month, and they don't have a date, they can do it internally. And they don't need to announce. You don't need to see the headline, Halo Infinite delayed.
November 10th. That's my guess.
That's like I feel like that's like a very common like date.
No, well, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I just think that's like the early November, earliest at the latest at late November, if it's coming out this year. They won't release it in December. I will say that now. I don't think they will.
We'll see.
That's my
I'm
thought.
open to whatever. I feel like they'll do whatever they need to do to get this game out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halo Infinite looks fantastic. Next up, we have the Diablo 2 remaster, which got a date. That is coming September 23rd to pretty much everything. This is not an exclusive.
Okay.
A Plague Tale Requiem, a sequel to a Plague Tale Innocence, is coming 2022. This is the game with the girl and her brother and the rats. This is a game I really need to play. It's been on my list for a while.
I think it's on Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass, but I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, hey, go for it. I love it.
Yeah, that looks great. Far Cry 6 got more gameplay. Slime Rancher 2.
We've been having requests.
Yeah. Have you played Slime Rancher 1?
No. It looks kind of funny. Like it looks
Meredith would probably like this.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to
it's cute. You collect little slime guys and you farm them and you milk them or some shit.
Jesus,
I don't know.
I've seen, milk that slime.
I've seen somebody play the first one, but I just know like it's like kind of like a cute yeah.
No, it looks fun. It looks like it would be
You're
fun to just joke around.
You are a slime rancher. It's like in the vein of Stardew.
Okay,
Right.
that sounds
Except
right.
It's
I love
in 3D.
I've been playing. I'm almost got the entire thing done for Stardew. I got the community center done, and I just need to finish off. I need some good wine to finish off the movie.
You can make
theater.
wine in Stardew.
Absolutely, and you can age it in your basement. Dude, honestly, that game is like, it's a game I never thought I would be into, but it's so much fun. I love Stardew.
This must be an indie title. Oh yeah, I remember this title. Shredders coming December 2021. Mm-hmm. We got coming back out of nowhere. Atomic Heart got some gameplay.
Well, yeah. What is that? That looks pretty interesting.
It's like it looks like we've talked about this before.
I feel like we have.
This is like a BioShock like game in like Russia, and there's like automaton things.
It looks interesting.
They're like theme park rides
Yeah.
and shit. Another indie game. This is a bunch of indie stuff. Replaced coming in 2022. Grounded is getting the Shroom and Doom update. Among Us is coming to Xbox. Iduian Chronicle 100 Heroes. This is like a JRPG that looks pretty cool. And I think I want to look at something in Discord because somebody mentioned something about something.
Something about something? What the something were you talking about?
No, that was for another game. I just wanted to make sure.
Sure.
I wasn't missing anything. We have The Ascent, Age of Empires, which is coming out in October. Age of Empires 4 is coming to Xbox October 28th, 2021. This year's going to be a light year. I don't know if that we haven't really brought that up, but like there's not a lot coming out this year.
No, there really isn't.
I think COVID, if any game was coming out this year, has pushed it back. And again, we have a bunch of games that have just been
I think that's definitely
delayed
likely
in general.
I think it's a likely
COVID.
scenario. I do feel like we do get these dry years every once in a while, even like
Yeah,
this
like
too,
last
where
year
it's
was
like,
pretty hype for the most part.
I mean, so what's the biggest one coming out this year? Probably Halo. Right?
Halo and like maybe Stalker is a big one.
Jeez.
Speaking of another big one, The Outer Worlds 2 was revealed.
I really like this trailer. It was very tongue in cheek and fun. I thought
Again, another like big cinematic CGI trailer. Just to
truly
announce
out of
it,
the
like
box.
Fable.
Like I was not expecting that at all. That really caught me off guard. I don't know why. Like go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
No, it caught me off guard. I was not expecting it to get one announced so soon.
We reviewed Outer Worlds, and I think one of the biggest, I think like exactly what we said was this is like a very good okay game.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. And I really think Outer Worlds 2 has the opportunity, Obsidian has the opportunity to improve on everything Outer Worlds 1 did, but it really needs to be better. Outer Worlds 1, again,
it needs a little bit more
game,
zing.
But it needs...
I'd actually say it's a good game. I don't think it's like anything like, that's the other thing. It doesn't do anything to break the mold that is RPGs and things like that. I think it brings back a lot of those mechanics that I love. Like, one thing I love in that game is you can just use persuasion and stuff to get out of anything. That was my favorite thing about like Fallout games and all that stuff. Like, or you can use your dialogue option to circumvent like fucking with someone, or like, hey, go get this whole thing. No, I'm gonna intimidate you. Give me the fucking information right now. Like, that's missing from like a Fallout 4 and stuff like that. But that's one thing I love in an Outer Worlds. I'm very curious to see where they take the second one.
Yeah, as am I. And we don't know if this is a console exclusive yet, because I remember it was awkward that like Bethesda got bought, but Outer Worlds is on everything, and they're Bethesda. Obsidian is no.
They used to be together, right? I thought,
Obsidian bought Xbox bought Obsidian, which is funny because they now own the developer of the original Fallout series and Bethesda. So it's like Obsidian could technically make another Fallout. Remember that?
Yeah, that's
Vegas
true. Yeah,
not rumors, but like.
Well, it's funny.
Like
I remember
Obsidian could make another Fallout.
Well,
game,
I mean,
but clearly that's not the case because they're making Outer Worlds too.
Yeah,
which
I
is
wonder
pretty
what
much
they
New
would.
Vegas.
I would love to see what they would do with another offshoot Fallout.
I love New Vegas.
It's
man.
so good.
New Vegas is the best.
It
Fallout,
really-
like,
it's-
hands down.
That's so good. But continue.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to Series X and S. This is going to be on July 27th, and we got a Top Gun expansion.
We're going to the fucking danger zone, Gooch.
Oh yeah, we are.
Oh my god, I love it. I remember I was watching.
I think it just makes sense, right?
No, it does. It lines right in.
Big aviation.
And again, they're going to be
IPs,
like, you
it
can
makes
just
sense.
fly a jet, I assume, and you're in the
Right,
yeah and stuff
yeah.
like that would be cool if they did like dogfight training and stuff. And that I doubt they would, but no, it's interesting. I remember like kind of tuning out for a sec, then turning back in. I was like, and I like texted you. I'm like, is this Top Gun? And you were like, yup. I'm like, all right. Just too good.
Yeah. You know, Microsoft Flight Sim has its niche audience, and I feel like this is something that people would enjoy. So, Forza Horizon 5 coming in November 9th of this year. Here's another game for this year. We got a deep dive on the gameplay. It's going to be in Mexico. The game looks beautiful, as like every racing game does.
Again, yeah. Guys, who plays these? Like, not that in the way of like these are bad, and I don't understand why anyone plays these. I just, besides Ian, that's our friend. I don't know anyone else. Friend of the show. He's been on Star Wars, big Star Wars guys. He's usually on with us for those. I don't know anyone who purchases these games. I really don't, and I don't know. Like, but they must do well. They obviously do because they're making them every year.
We're dealing with a very niche.
No, but it's not so niche that they're not making it. I guess they don't. I guess you just have to make they have a set profit that they probably know that they can really count on each year.
Right.
And I guess you're not like breaking the mold gigantically when it comes to making a new Forza game.
No.
So I don't know. Please, if you're out there and you really love these games, please like message in on this or comment on the video. Like I'm very curious. I really am.
Yeah. Like again, I don't have much to say. This isn't a series.
But
I
again,
play.
and not to say that it's a bad thing if you do. Like I don't want that to come across. I'm just more surprised because I feel like with how successful these games are, I just would think I would know more people who purchase them. But continue, Gooch.
And our last but not least, Redfall, a new IP coming summer 2022.
Is this the Arcane one?
Yes. What do you think? As an Arcane fan more than I am, Trio.
I'm like
Prey fan, Dishonored fan.
I
like
think
Dishonored 2 more than I did.
Yeah, sure.
Thief.
I don't know if this. I don't think this studio was the one that did Dishonored. I think this is the one that did Prey and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which, for God's sakes, play Prey. I fucking love that game. I think it's criminally underrated, and I think it's so cool and different. So. Does the idea of this
I'm just gonna get up and stretch.
There you go. That's fine. Yeah. The idea of this doesn't like. I'm not like ooh vampires. I'm so pumped because of that. But like I think the idea of Arcane kind of putting their spin on this. They seem to have their kind of like they're really good with this idea of having their like their characters use these abilities or just the way you interact with the world is always fun. So in short. The like IP itself doesn't like get me going crazily, but knowing that Arcane is behind it really majorly piques my interest, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. It seems like it's 4-player co-op.
Comfortable still, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's been a long cast.
No, it has. So you gotta kind of lean back, maybe cross the old leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, just we're putting our feet up.
Put the foot up. Yeah, I think it's again. Xbox delivered on another new IP on a studio they own.
That's exclusive.
That's
right?
exclusive.
Yeah, that's
yep.
And is that next gen only?
Yeah,
I thought so.
Did we actually talk about what the game was? It's like the Vampire
It seems like it's
Slayers.
a four-player co-op like Vampire Slayer game. Like, and each character has its own
another Left 4 Dead like.
Yeah, in a way.
A lot of those popping up.
No, it's true. It's like Left 4 Dead, but with Arcane's like magical patina on it, and even just its art style. And I don't know, it looks fun and different, and I love that studio, so I will probably buy it. To be honest.
We'll see. That for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sold on it. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I like the black girl with the big hair reloading the gun, but not actually like reloading it. Like she like does the
I like to
the hand animations on the floating gun. I was like, that's pretty cool.
It is good. I love it.
All right. Time for the depressing stuff. Nintendo and Square.
Jesus.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's it, right? That's the name of it.
Yeah.
So this has been long rumored, correct? Like I feel like this has
been in the ether in the industry for a while, and I know Blueberry Bubbly in chat, Jess, friend of the show, she's been on a podcast before. She was on Twitter saying how, or like Eidos Montreal, they make Deus Ex. I'm trying to, and they no, it's just this is Eidos Montreal. Yeah, talking about like Tomb Raider and stuff, and we were talking about this, and I literally had said this is a few days before E3, and I go, "There's a Guardians game rumored by Eidos Montreal because like I want Deus Ex by them," and she was saying she would like Tomb Raider would be a good IP, and I'm like, nah, Tomb Raider doesn't need to be rebooted just yet.
And I think I think they're letting that simmer for a while.
And I'm like, what we need is a new Deus Ex, and you know what? When you watch this. What's your impressions?
I'm sad I'm playing as Peter Quill. Like, I wish I was playing as, like, Gamora or, like, I guess they all are kind of punchy, slashy characters. They don't really do anything.
They all kind of shoot.
They all kind of shoot or slash or do things that are punchy. I really like the idea of this. I like how different they're going for the most part, except when it, like, especially when it comes to character designs for, like, I love how comic accurate they're going for Drax. I think he looks awesome. Gamora looks fucking awesome.
Gamora is one of the best looking comic book video game characters since Spider-Man.
I love her whole getup.
She looks awesome.
I really don't like the way Peter Quill looks.
I was like, you know who doesn't look awesome? Star-Lord.
And, like, it's weird, like...
Two MCU.
But it's like
two look alike.
Like, you know what it reminds me of in a weird way? It reminds me of Elvis. Like with his big shoulder like jacket.
He's got like a pompadour
and
hair.
Like the pompadour back. And I'm like, and he has like his Walkman, it seems like they were afraid to go really outside the box with him for some reason.
And he does have really cool looking comic book suits that the MCU hasn't touched. And it's even with Drax, I feel like with Drax, it's like, okay, like he looks more like the comic book Drax, and Rocket looks a little different, and Groot looks a little different, but like how different can you get with those characters?
You really can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I will say,
but
I
like
think it's
Star-Lord, like you had to give him the red coat, didn't you?
and it's just like it's just
that.
like these really weird gigantic shoulders on it, and like I don't know, but when it comes down to gameplay wise, I think the idea, I love they're going single player. Thank you fucking God.
Yeah. As Avengers flops, like, okay, like I'm still interested, still skeptical.
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
very skeptical.
But
of this game.
I think like the idea that you're playing Peter throughout this story, and like you're kind of making decisions, and like it seems like through the game, yeah, and it seems like throughout the gameplay, like when you make decisions, it says like there's one point where in the gameplay where Drax is like, I'll throw fucking Rocket across the ravine, like let me to open the thing, and he's like no, and you can make a choice to let him do it or to stop him, and then when you do that, it says in the top left corner, Rocket is furious that you let Drax throw him or something. So I assume that there's going to be multiple endings to this game or different ways that things can turn out. That interests me. The gameplay itself wasn't blowing me away.
Looks really janky.
Yeah,
there was a lot of frame drops. I'm like, this doesn't look smooth at all.
But they felt really confident to show us all. Like that's what kind of confused. Like they
showed
a lot. Which,
yeah.
To be honest, I gotta give them some credit on that. Like I appreciate being shown what we're given. But I don't know. I did feel some jank. I don't think it was like crazy.
I think the E3 motto for everyone is show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Don't tell us about the game. Show us the game.
And I'm glad they did it.
They did. They showed us, the Guardians have been a team for less than a year. That's kind of where the story's going. So it's not a fresh new team. They aren't meeting each other for the first time. They've been together for a little bit. So they have a little bit of relation, but probably don't know each other too well. Our villain is going to be Lady Hellbender. I've never heard of her, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because now we have nothing to go off of. We're not doing Ego. We're not doing the Gold Lady from Guardians 2. She could be a villain. We're not doing
like again,
Ronan, like good. Don't do anything the MCU has done, because you're just putting yourself into this position exactly like Avengers did with their Avengers team.
No, it was a clone. It was a weird off clone with the Avengers. Whereas this,
the MCU knockoff.
And that's what kind of surprises me with the choice to make Peter look so much like his MCU counterpart.
That's
seems
why I'm complaining about it.
Yeah, and that seems because it seems like otherwise they've really taken a major departure. And I got to say, I really do appreciate
Gamora,
that.
dude, she looks
so good. And I loved her. I like all the voice.
It's the white.
I will say it is, and like I like the way she's kind of got like this angled like body armor going on. But the voice actors I think are really good. I don't love
and you know
Rockets.
why? Because you don't know any of them.
No, you don't. No, you're right.
I think bringing in, no offense to any of these voice actors, they're in plenty of games I play that I enjoy. Yeah. Getting Nolan North, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, and Travis Willingham, the voice actor fucking all-star team, was a horrible idea. They're all in every game together. Right. Like, they're in a lot of games together, number one, and it just sounded like, again, I think Nolan North's worst voice acting gig is Tony Stark. I think it's horrible. Like, I really do. Troy does a good job as Bruce Banner.
I actually like him
as... It's a different role for Troy.
I agree.
Like, he could have been a Tony Stark, but, like, I think these voice actors start sounding stereotypical when you see them in everything, and like that was the issue with Avengers. And we'll talk about Avengers.
It's
in a
nice
bit
to have some fresh. It's nice to have some freshness in the ears.
Right. It's like I'm glad I don't know who this person is. I'm glad it's not Troy Baker. Let Troy Baker do something different, like Death Stranding, where he's a villain for once in his life.
No, I agree.
And it's kind of cool. Yeah.
But overall,
this game's on my radar. I'm probably gonna get it, but I'm fucking skeptical as all shit because of Avengers.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm with you, 1000%.
Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on Steam and mobile, the pixel versions of these games. So let me give you some background on this. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 have pretty much been ported to various extents. They're like, what is out now is not the original versions of the game. They've just been re-upped
and re-upped, yeah.
Right. Not to like a Final Fantasy 7 remake extent, but like they're still like 2D, but they just like, you remember like what Octopath looks like?
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay.
You know? And now they're re-releasing the original versions of the game remastered. And the trailer for that was horrible. Like, it did not convey that at all. But that's what that is. So that's interesting. That's cool. I know a lot of people, a lot of Final Fantasy fans would be into that. Bring that phone over here, Trio.
talking about great points with the voice actors.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Going back to that voice actor point real quick. It's like, yeah, I like those voice actors, but I critique them every time I hear them in a game because Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham sound like the same people in every game.
No, they
they're
don't.
in.
Yeah,
Even Jennifer Hale. It's like you could have like replaced a few people and like with other all-star people, and it's like we don't fucking need that as like high-profile characters.
It
like
would be
this.
frustrating because that would be like in a movie when you would just be casting the same 6 actors every time. Like that would get boring.
Right.
You're just seeing the same. Yeah.
And going back to the Final Fantasy thing, these pixel remasters are pretty cool. Like it's cool to be able to play like the original version of the game
Sure.
on a modern day console. I think
That's
that's
awesome.
important. Legend of Mana is getting a remaster. Do you know anything about the Mana series?
Not at all.
Okay. I know what it is. I don't know too much. Marvel's Avengers. We're getting the Cosmic Cube update June 3rd. And the War for Wakanda expansion is going to be free, and that is coming out in August. Trio. Is War from Wakanda going to get you back into Avengers?
No. I don't even. Not even.
A little.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, guys, put in some different. Like, Black Panther's cool. It would be cooler if they didn't start with 2 archery characters and then go to Black Panther. What in
What
the
a
fuck
mess.
are you guys thinking? Like, I know, like.
And Hawkeye, I like the way
you start
both Hawkeye plays, but that's not a good way to sell
No.
that DLC or
Are you
that
kidding
game.
me? Like, they
Yeah,
should've-
guess what? We have 2 Hawkeyes.
It's like
Not just one.
Thanks, guys. You just wasted 2 months.
And
of
they
just
do play similarly. They're cool.
Yeah, no, and it's cool, but like again, if they started out with Hawkeye and that was it, that's fine. You go to Black Panther, then you go to something really cool. But like,
I think Chadwick Boseman's death also had. I think
It could have been.
this DLC, I'm pretty sure, was supposed to be first.
And why when they switched
Because
it,
Chadwick Boseman died.
oh,
So they didn't want to just put
seemed
it
like
out.
they were like kind of capitalizing.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So I guess that does make sense to a degree, but don't put 2 of the same types of characters in one after another. That's all I'm saying. Like put in like something like a Captain Marvel, a Doctor Strange, like.
What I found interesting about the War from Wakanda trailer is it doesn't even seem like it involves the other Avengers. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like, what is this?
But that's so like that's kind of what this game should have. Like I know each character has their own kind of individual like storylines in it, but they're
Sure.
not that like they're not different. They're not like you can make a Captain America game within this game. You can make a Black Panther game within this game, and you can go play off with them, and then come back and play like full team up Avengers. And if that's what they're doing with this, that sounds kind of cool. Maybe that would get me back in. But
I think my opinion on this, as somebody who's been playing Avengers a lot, I'm going for the platinum finally. I'm trying to get that off my fucking plate because I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I think
Crazy.
War for Wakanda is it. I don't think this game's going to get support after this.
I don't think it is either.
This game has commercially failed. Like, this game is done bad. I think they're getting out. This is the last thing we knew. The big thing. I couldn't imagine them
You don't
releasing
see them
anything.
doubling down again to try to.
There's
to
no
fix-
DLC after this.
And it
This is
sucks because like again, gameplay wise, I think this Avengers is really something cool and different. And I think like when you get into this groove, when I'm fucking Iron Man up in the air, fucking up all the air guys, you're Hulk down on the ground, Thor's going around the map, like it can feel like really cool and interesting, but like just the settings are just so boring and bland and just repetitive that like you give me all these tools,
Dude, the
but then when you put
hives is like unreal boring.
it's insane.
I do it during work sometimes.
Ugh.
I'll just like go on a hive and like work and like run through one a day, and I have to do 50 of them.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
it's a grind. That's all I've left.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all
there
I
you
need
go.
to do
All
is
right.
grind. But anyway, moving on. We got some announcements for some mobile games. Hitman Mobile, Nier Reincarnation. Final Fantasy Brave Evixius is doing a little promotion. Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. Don't have much to say about these at all. But Final Fantasy First Soldier, 7 First Soldier is a fucking battle royale on mobile. Why, Square? Why? Just stop. Speaking of
Let
just
it go.
stop, Babylon's Fall, a game we saw a few years ago, finally got gameplay trailers coming to PS4, PS5, and Steam. This game looks horrible.
I don't even know what it is. What?
It is like, it's by Team Ninja. They've done Neo, and a few other games, but like, I could not have been more turned off. Oh no, sorry, not Team Ninja. Shit, Platinum. Sorry, Team Ninja.
Okay.
Team Ninja, Stranger Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Platinum has done a lot of like hack and slash games. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance they did. I'm trying to think about if somebody on chat can chime in. I can't think of anything they've done off the top of my head besides that. It's like it's like a live service game, and you like fight up a tower, and like it just looks horrible.
Jesus.
It looks horrible.
Yeah.
It looks so fucking bad.
Just stupid and bad.
And
yeah.
I'm like, this is not what Square does, and I hate how they're cashing in like they did with Avengers, turning what should be a single player game or like whatever it is into like a live service game.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Not much to say other than I just don't like it. And we'll jump to Discord. We got some feedback on this section once we're done. Life is Strange Remastered Collection got a date, September 30th, 2022. Or sorry, 2021. And then Life is Strange, the new game, True Colors, is September 10th, 2021.
True Colors. I don't know what that's from.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's from...
That was awkward. You want to just move on?
No. I want to simmer in it for a minute. Because I need to learn. But continue. Sorry.
Do you have any interest in True Colors?
No, not really.
Okay.
I got it. I don't really. Yeah.
I feel like Meredith might like if she does she like story stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like this is I feel
Is
like
it
Life
puzzle?
is Strange is
She doesn't
very,
really like. She doesn't like puzzles.
No, there's no puzzles in
Alright.
Life is Strange. I feel like this is a very approachable game.
I mean, to be
for
honest, I don't really even like puzzles.
casuals.
It's bad. I've gotten to the point with puzzles in games where I'll try for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, you told me that with like Resident Evil.
I'm just looking at the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care. Like,
you bitch.
like I don't know this. I don't know if I'm getting old and slow, but I'm like fuck this. I want to continue.
All right. I got a lot of opinions about this next one. And again, we'll jump to our Discord, where you can join our Discord at delconernetwork.com. Just click join our community on the front page.
Come
and you can
hang.
join and possibly contribute to the podcast.
Absolutely.
Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin Trio. What does that mean to you?
Literally nothing at all. What is it?
Okay. So, Final Fantasy 1, the villain Garland is our like main villain. He's kind of like a time traveling like evil dude. Final Fantasy 1's very base. Not a ton of lore going on there. We're not in deep with Final Fantasy yet. It's pretty simple.
Sure.
He works for Chaos.
Chaos.
Did you hear the Chaos meme with this game? They
No.
said Chaos maybe 7 or 8 times in the trailer. Like, so basically, Final Fantasy 1, Warriors of Light fight Chaos in the form of Garland, and then they fight Chaos.
As they do.
Final Fantasy games, you start simple. Some dude's invading a kingdom. You end up fighting a god at the end of it.
Love
That's
it.
just how it goes.
How
with
it
Final
is.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's what happens here. So Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is a set of very bro-looking warriors of light going to the Shrine of Chaos
Sorry.
from the first Final Fantasy and like fighting Garland and Chaos.
Okay.
So they're kind of roping it into the lore of Final Fantasy 1, but it's like a Souls game. And there's a demo out now, which I haven't played yet. And apparently it looks really weird. Like the characters look like
Just odd or like
they look like you think they would be like in like armor and like look medieval looking. No, they're
No,
wearing
they're
like
just-
normal clothes.
they're just in a suit and tie.
Imagine Final Fantasy 15. You know what those characters look
Yeah.
like? Imagine that, but like more like what we're wearing right now.
We're just in shirts and t-shirts. Yeah, or t-shirts and pants.
and sneakers.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
it's weird. And
That would be a bit of a shock.
Mr. Pungyung jumps in and says, I'm still quite excited about Final Fantasy Origin game, since I love what Team Ninja has accomplished with Neo and Neo 2. Also, it has a bizarre look to it that reminds me of PS2 era games I find quite charming, which is a very interesting juxtaposition of what I have to say, and I'm like, this game looks really weird. And as a Final Fantasy fan, like I'm probably going to try out this demo, but Final Fantasy Souls does not sound like something I need in my life. But
Final Fantasy. Yeah, that does sound like an interesting combination.
sorry, I was like
No, it's okay. Yeah, I got you.
stewing.
It's good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, Square. Like what the fuck was going on with this one?
They have really up and down ideas there.
They have a lot of. There's just a lot of weird stuff
It
going on
is.
with
Yeah,
Square.
I don't know.
Like Final Fantasy 16 looks awesome. Like that trailer was shown last or like like last year.
Sure.
But like we didn't see it this year, and I didn't expect to see it. We haven't really talked about what we didn't see at things, but maybe if we want to chime in, like with Xbox, we didn't see Fable.
Oh yeah. Well, then that makes. I feel like that was announced relatively recently, and they even like said that it was like development was just starting.
Right. But now we're gonna jump to the mother shitters of them all.
Nintendo. How bad was it? I didn't watch this one.
I feel
fair?
bad for Nintendo fans. I really do. I'm glad none of these games are things that I'm looking forward to. But I just look at it, and then every year I go, they're going to be disappointed. Every year. But every year, they think Nintendo's going to announce some crazy fucking thing, and they never do. They're like, eat it, whore. They always underwhelm. So let's start off. We got a new Smash Brothers Ultimate character, Kazuya Mishima from Tekken.
Okay.
He is like one of the main characters from Tekken, so he's coming to
Smash.
Smash.
Is on my list next. That's what I'm probably gonna buy.
Life is Strange Remastered in True Colors is coming to Switch. Guardians is coming to Switch. Worms Rumble is coming to Switch. Asteria Ascending is coming to Switch. 2 Point Campus is coming to Switch. Super Monkey Ball Mania. Do you remember Super Monkey Ball?
I love Super Monkey Ball.
They're remastering all those games.
I love me some Super Monkey Ball.
They're doing a Super Monkey Ball remaster October 5th, 2021. This is where I go, what the fuck, Nintendo? Super Mario Party Superstar, October 29th. This is a new Mario Party game of just remastered Mario Party stuff from other games. Why not just release it on the best-selling Nintendo Switch game, Mario Party 8, as DLC? Why release this as a new fucking game?
I guess because then it just keeps it all at once.
Fucking idea.
Because then you don't have to switch. I mean, I think at the end of the day you get the same result.
Do you though?
But like in the way of like you can play all of them and do it whatever you want, but it would make it much more accessible and easy to just have Poo Poo Pee Pee. That was from what's his name? Poo Poo Pee Pee yourself, Pensman Franklin. You piece of shit. No. I lost my train of thought because I got distracted by pee pee poo poo.
Thanks for joining us in the chat where you can watch live twitch.tv/Delco Network.
Bang, bang, boom. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it would make it more user-friendly to just be able to go on my Mario Party 8 and then just play from everything.
Right.
But again,
or even
this is not, that's accessibility and player friendliness is not what Nintendo is about.
And our good friend on Discord, the Contemplator, Chris Connor, friend of the show, chimes in. Mario Party Superstars not only goes back to the old formula again, but it also remasters some of the original N64 boards and minigames. It is a much better version of when they tried to make the top 100 minigames. So Chris is coming to the defense of this a little bit, but I still say, what? Sure, that's awesome. Do that, but release it with Mario Party. Make it DLC. Why have it as a separate game?
I don't know. Again, I think it's just a choice. I don't necessarily think that's bad or good, but maybe so they can charge $60. I think it's because if you release this DLC and then be like, but it's $60, people are like, what? I don't know. I again, Nintendo kind of has a bit of carte blanche. I know that sucks. Like they just really like it doesn't matter. Like they know they're gonna get like their kind of ticket and
with our next title, Metroid Dread, first 2D Metroid game in 19 years coming to Switch on October 8th. This is, I think, the biggest thing Nintendo announced. I'm like, that's really cool, but like, it's not Metroid Prime 4, which has been announced, and they not canned the game, but like
they restarted development basically, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, like that's cool, but like it's not Prime 4.
No, it isn't.
And I think that's what people wanted to see. I
mean, I feel like people were really heavily waiting on that Switch Pro announced too.
We'll get to that at the end. We'll talk about that, I think, a little bit. Just Dance coming to Switch, obviously. Cruise and Blast Switch exclusive. This is a fall 2021 release. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is coming to Switch in September. Mario Golf Rush, they announced some like free post-release DLC. WarioWare, Get It Together, September 10th. Again, it's just like, cool, WarioWare, I guess, for the people who like those games. But like, is that going to get anybody excited? Debatable.
I agree.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming to Switch exclusively November 12th. Now, Trio, do you know what Shin Megami Tensei is?
Nope.
This is kind of like a Persona-like game. We have Dilly D's in Discord with, thank you for contributing in the feedback section of our Discord channel, where we asked about what people were hype about for E3, and Dilly writes a little bit of a paragraph about Shin Megami Tensei, but it's something I would skip right over, so I'm gonna read it in its entirety. I'm a big JRPG fan. As someone who's only ever played the Persona series and Shin Megami Tensei 3 original and remake. I just call it an HD version though, but that's another story. Lol. I'm loving this trend of slowly but surely getting the original series available to play. The secondhand market for Shin Megami Tensei and even Persona games is kind of whacked and makes it harder to get. I'll take any chance to be able to play that series because while having flaws and maybe being outdated at times, I still think SMT, Shin Megami Tensei, is a wonderful series full of great characters, wonderful gameplay, and just the world building that goes into these games blows me away every single time I play one. They're phenomenal, and I love almost everything about them. Hoping to see a Persona 6 announcement sometime in the future, but I know that's a good ways away from happening. Hell, if they really wanted to shake it up, make Shin Megami Tensei 6 make Shin Megami Tensei 6. I just combine them. Shin Megami Tensei 6. Persona is one of those series that has many spin-off titles, which is what Shin Megami Tensei is. It's a spin-off title of Persona. And they aren't mainline or traditional RPGs. Some are fighting style games. Some are actually rhythm-based dance games. The culture behind those series and what they all do are constantly great, and there's always a game in this series for someone.
That's interesting.
I find it so funny as an aside note that Persona spun off from Shin Megami Tensei. Sorry, so the opposite, and became a more popular franchise. Yeah, so this is like a Persona-like game. But yeah, that's interesting. Again, I don't know. Like some of these Japanese titles really blend in.
Absolutely.
And this is kind of one of these ones. Like I don't have any context for this game. So Dilly, thank you for writing in and giving us
we always appreciate the
your
feedback.
opinion. Danganronpa, another Japanese title. Danganronpa Decadence Collection coming to Switch. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. Do you know what Fatal Frame is?
I feel like it's pretty old game, right?
It's an old Nintendo like horror game. And
you know who Meredith said she used to watch like walkthroughs on those all the time. That's where I feel like I've heard of it from.
Fatal Frame?
Yeah, she used to.
Yeah, you take your like Japanese
and you basically take pictures of people like
right.
ghosts. Yeah.
And I think with the horror trope and the horror genre being very much a thing in the games industry, the trailer would reflect that. But no, I'm like, this game looks cool, and it's an exclusive, but why not make the trailer actually scary?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very odd choice. I don't understand that.
It's a very beloved franchise. I'm sure it's going to do well, but it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't... I don't know.
The trailer just like this presentation, which I think is a half Nintendo's issue, their presentation just sucks.
This is not great, yeah.
Doom Eternal Ancient Gods Part 1 is coming to Switch. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Strange Brigade Advanced Wars 1+2 is getting a reboot or like a re-collection thing. That's December 3rd. Our last few announcements relating to Zelda. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is getting an expansion DLC. There's a Game & Watch of Link, Legend of Zelda, The Adventure of Link, and Link's Awakening coming out. Do you know what a Game & Watch is? They're like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, right, I think it's still on sale. Breath of the Wild is on sale on the Switch Marketplace.
And speaking of Breath of the Wild, we got to see our Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay.
So this is Breath of the Wild 2. Like, this isn't another...
It has a subtitle. They just haven't announced it.
Okay, so it's Zelda Breath of the Wild subtitle. Or is it going to be Zelda just subtitle, new subtitle?
No, it's Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I don't know if it's 2 or it's
then there's
Ditch the 2 has a subtitle.
Okay.
It definitely has a subtitle.
And then they're putting out a remake too soon, right? Isn't there
What?
like there's another Zelda coming out like that I saw on the marketplace. It was like Skyward Sword.
Oh yeah,
They're
the
doing
HD
it's a
remaster for Skyward
remaster. Okay,
Yeah.
that looks pretty cool.
So
I mean, there wasn't much going on here. You dived in, right? And then they showed some like...
what an underwhelming trailer.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think this game looks cool. I think they have an opportunity to kind of do some Majora's Mask-esque stuff.
I loved Majora's Mask. Ugh.
I almost like want to call Chris and be like, yo, can you like shoot the shit on like Zelda real quick, like some lore? Because like there is some like Twilight Princess vibes in this. There's like some backwards voices. I'm like, oh, that's Twilight Princess. Yeah, like Ocarina of Time came and then they pretty much reused assets and made Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And it's a beloved game in the series.
So
a lot of
this is
people like that.
this is a Switch game, right? Did they
Yeah,
announce
so
that? Yeah.
I see it as Breath of the Wild 2 is kind of like maybe this is going to be the Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild 1. Or,
Yeah.
I think it has the opportunity to maybe get darker.
I mean,
with the
I'm
story.
loving it so far.
Like we
I
have
will
this
say.
Blight Ganon kind of character. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it looks interesting. I think it looks like more Zelda, especially in the way of nothing too groundbreaking. But I don't have much to say on it. I'm sorry. Again, Zelda's not something I can speak to too much. I have a very outsiders in perspective. I think I'm not alone on this, but the weapon breaking in Breath of the Wild, I don't know what that choice was. But otherwise, for the most part, I've been thoroughly enjoying that game. Sucking me right in. But what do we got next?
Chris wrote in a few things about some other Nintendo titles. Here, I'm just reading over them real fast. Switch Pro stuff. So, Chris, again, thank you for writing in on Discord. Nintendo fans were expecting a shit ton of news. Also like the news on the Switch Pro. The only rumor that was true was Mario Party. Some were expecting a new Donkey Kong game or further collab with Microsoft. And of course, some were expecting a Zelda Anniversary Collection like they did with Mario at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I feel like they were just like pick and choose what you want. Nintendo just didn't have a strong showing, even though they showed Breath of the Wild.
Did they give reason to think that, or was that just
I think that the Switch Pro is a thing.
I think that is too.
Are a lot of
there's way
rumors.
too much going on about that. That's the one thing that I think is legit. But like the other stuff, I'm wondering if that's like people just think that should happen, or there seem to be like legitimate rumbles about it. I don't know. But
and before we end, I have one more thing from our lovely community in Discord. Sapphire Diamond Ruby writes in, Indies for me stole the show. I guess we'll lean into talking about E3 as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indies stole the show for me, especially because most everyone was paying attention to all the digital events across the board, including indies. So it felt like they were really closer playing field in comparison to the past.
That's cool.
And she links a link with some of her favorites. I think it sucks because like I barely watched some of the other showcase where the indies titles
really kind of got shown.
There are indies either stick out to me or they don't, and then if I don't like see the trailer, I will eventually find some reason to like get into an indie. It's an interesting process for me with indie games, but I'm glad they had a good showing, even though we didn't necessarily go into every indie
single detail
that was announced.
That's awesome. That is cool. It's nice to see those smaller games getting their due.
So what did you think of E3 this year? A little different because of COVID, but overall.
I had a similar question for you. Like overall, I thought it was cool, but like, how do you feel about the future of games right now when it comes to the way E3?
E3
and like what's coming next? Like this is kind of like, do you feel optimistic about this next year or two? Do you feel like we're kind of hitting like
about E3 or about the games?
About gaming in general, I guess, like as a result of this E3.
COVID is still making things weird.
I agree.
Clearly. I think there's a lot of, I think if we didn't have COVID, E3 this year would have been a much different looking year.
I agree.
I think there are a lot of strong titles that were shown at this E3. I think we're going to have a great 2023. But I think 2022, we're still, we're still in this world where you can't get an Xbox through your Series X or a
hold
PS5.
On.
It's hard.
You can't go into a store and buy them, but
right.
you can find them if you really want to put in the time, which it's unfortunate that you have to. But like,
so I think we're on this weird layaway year where things are going to come out. We have some titles coming out this year, but it's going to be a relatively chill year. I think as we get out of COVID, as things go back to normal, and as people get next gen consoles. I think E3 was good this year. I think it's as good as it could be. But I think next year it's going to be so all out, it's not even going to be funny.
I really feel like Sony's silence was deafening here.
It's going to be every year they're not here, man. It's just going to be the trend of like the powerhouse of Sony, regardless of what you think about them or not. They're not being present at these events where they should be.
But they don't even feel like I'm going to go on my soapbox here. I'm so excited for an Xbox Series X right now. I have zero excitement for getting a PlayStation 5. You don't need to get one. Like, you don't. Unless you really want to make your gaming experience better, which is nice and that's great. But I just think it's just so odd that we don't know any PlayStation 5 exclusives coming out like in the next. I can't name 2 that are coming out in the next year or two. Because God of War isn't one. I can name 4 or 5 next gen exclusives right now that are coming to Xbox.
What's lined up for PS5 right now? Or just Sony in general?
Sony, I don't know, but for PlayStation 5, I think literally nothing. that's exclusive
I think
that I
you're
can
right.
think of.
I think you're right.
And
I don't think
that
anything's coming out this
blows
year.
my mind. Like,
But I mean, look, Insomniac launched 2 games this year.
sure.
That's crazy.
No, I know.
So we're not going to see anything from Insomniac for another 6 years.
I mean, even like it blows my mind that Miles Morales was cross-gen. Like, there are things that like.
but
Listen,
that was
I
a
know.
spin-off.
No,
game.
and I know. Like listen,
I think there's a few reasons as to why.
that's
that
fair,
was.
and that seemed like it was always going to be a PlayStation 4 game or whatever. But like, there's just this thing where like Sony just seems to be saying "fuck off" to the next generation. Like,
Sony
have
just
fun
seems
getting-
to be saying "fuck off" to a lot of things.
like they're like you get this next gen console, we're not giving you a reason to buy it. Like sure, like besides some enhancements in the way of how a game runs, but like the fact that I don't need to buy a PlayStation 5 to get God of War,
you're good.
the next gen, like or the next God of War game that seemed to be coming out just exclusively for PlayStation 5 and now is being backported, makes me sad. And I get it. Listen, I know it's hard to get a console. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's that isn't an issue. And like there weren't shortages and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there are more PlayStation and Xbox consoles out in the ecosystem than there were by this time with PlayStation, with the last generation.
which I think is insane.
And we had
to think
already
about.
released exclusives on that. We'd already gotten this big player, but like they had already said fuck off to millions of players on that last generation. But for some reason, this time Sony's guys like it would feel bad to abandon these people on this last generation.
and that's where you get why Godfall is going to PS4.
And I'm sorry, that's such bullshit jargon speak for we want to make more money. Like they couldn't
It
even
is.
just be like, you know, we feel like there's a lot of funds here to just leave out on pasture. We don't want to do that. It's just it's so disingenuous to say we don't want to abandon these players after you have generation after generation when there's been less consoles out there. I don't know.
I mean, I think you're pointing out the fact that Sony's guard has changed. This is not the same Sony that launched the PlayStation 4.
It's noticeable.
That's what
you're
I've been
right. You're
saying for
absolutely- yeah,
almost
no,
a
it's so
year and
true.
a half. Sean Layden leaving. Mark Cerny's still there. They get rid of Mark Cerny, they're done. He's too smart.
Yeah.
Xbox will scoop him up.
He's not at Mark Cerny?
No, he's there.
Oh,
He's
okay,
there.
okay, yeah.
Mark Cerny's Power Hour.
Yeah. Well, but even that, like, so that's a.
I love Colin.
I'm sorry.
Colin got that when they talked about
it's so good,
Mark
but-
Cerny's Power Hour.
But again,
so
like, and I
funny.
do, like, just to go off on a quick tangent on that, he had that whole power hour to literally say how the PlayStation 5 is doing things we could never do on the PlayStation 4. But by the way, we're putting all of our games on that PlayStation 4 as well as the PS5. Like, what was the...
So Sean Layden, Gio Corsi, Shuhei Yoshida not being in the same role, who's Andy House. Like they're like all these executives are gone or in different positions. And that is something to be extremely wary
but
of.
it's just so
As
funny
you're
to see the pendulum switch.
Remember seeing that? I think it made circulation recently. Sean Layden talking about an indie game that nobody ever heard of. Maybe 3 out of 10 people played it,
Sure.
and he goes, "Yeah, we released X game, and a lot of and it didn't make $1 million, but that's not the point." Like he said that
wanted to put that out, yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
He called out an indie game that not a lot of people knew,
but they believed in it.
and right.
Yeah.
And I think Sony is double downing on every AAA dev they have. They are not investing in indie games
No, and that's-
as much. They're investing in what makes money. Naughty Dog.
And listen,
that like
Yeah,
look at
those AAA
look at
titles.
Days Gone. Days Gone didn't make money. You're making a
that
new
whole
IP.
story is, but again, it was
With,
so weird. But then
with
they were,
Sony Bend.
but they weren't they on like the Last of Us remake for a while? But then they were like, "Fuck you, we don't want to do this." Basically, and then they gave him a whole new IP. Like they were just like, "All right, fine, do a new IP." I think that was the big story because they were working on like basically
it was
a
Days
Last of Us.
Gone.
No, I know, but after Days Gone, they were put on the Last of Us remake. And then they were like, "This is bullshit.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
you're
want
right,
to do
you're right,
this."
you're right,
And then
you're right.
they went to the other thing. I don't know. It just seems very. I like the way Xbox is doing it. The way they said like you're going to be able to play next gen games on your Xbox One through cloud. Like that makes sense. You're still giving people an option to keep their box and play it that way, but you're not doing that at the cost of these games. And I'm sorry, putting them on a console from 9 years ago. There's a cost to doing that on a game. There's no way there isn't.
And that's why it was so mind blowing that God of War is going to be on PS4. And I'm not like getting butthurt about it.
No, I'm not getting, and I
but,
don't want
but
this
I
to
am
sound
upset
like-
from the perspective, and it's like, so you're telling me you're not going to make this game as best as it can be because you wanted to be on
because
PlayStation
you want it to run on a
4
9-year-old console
to make money.
And listen, I don't mean to
like you're fucking out of your
yeah,
mind.
and I don't want to disregard the people who can't. Like, you're looking for an Xbox or a PlayStation, you can't get it. I get it. It's tough. It sucks. But there isn't, and there is a need for it. But as compared to where we were last generation, we are leagues ahead. So I just am sick of hearing this argument of like, well, people can't get it. I know people couldn't get it before, like, but more people had it than they did.
And Sony is also giving their competition, here's our ass, and Microsoft
Go ahead and
is
kick
just
it.
kicking the shit out
like-
of it. Like they're really just giving them the floor.
And I'm saying
they're
this-
not being present. Microsoft is just doing things so much differently than Sony, and I think Sony doesn't know how to counter
it's
it by
weird.
just doing what they're already
But
doing.
it's so weird to go from the Sony that we saw at E3 when PlayStation 4 was announced, and they made that video. It was like, you want to know how you
share your game.
Thank you.
Right.
Amazing. And like they were super used. They're like
a
games.
different Sony.
And then even the way Xbox was on the other end of the spectrum, and now we're swinging back. It's just so funny to see
both
how the
these
pendulum
companies have
just swings.
Totally switched.
And listen, I love Sony. I want them to do better. Like, it might sound like I'm like completely shitting on them right now, because I kind of am, and I am like a little. It might sound like I'm a little upset. I mean, it does sound like a little bit like high and mighty. Like, you got to get these next consoles to play this next game. And like, listen, if a game can play on that old gen, I get it, play it. But like, there is no way that God of War will not be affected by this, the game and what they want to play. And that's a big deal to me. It is. Like, as someone who really likes video games and someone who's going to buy a $500 box to play it, I want a reason to play that. Because I'm going to tell you this. If God of War Ragnarok plays the way God of War played on my PlayStation 4, I'm fine with playing it on that. Like, why wouldn't I? I'm not buying a $500 console for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little too antsy. It's just, it does bug me. But was there anything else? Gooch. We can just check the interesting bugs. Yeah. Want to become okay? That's something else. Yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I am tired. I'm tired and hungry. That was another like ad or something. But guys, thank you so much for joining us for our E3 2021 coverage. It's been a lot of fun to sit down with Gooch and talk about all this stuff. We'd love to hear what you think, though. Please comment on the video. Please send feedback in our Discord. We have an email, delconerds@gmail.com, where you can get in contact with us. You know, you have some feedback, some comments, questions, concern. We love to hear from you. You can find this website. You can find this podcast everywhere podcasts are found. Just search our name, Delco Nerd Network. We are on all the social medias at Delco Nerds. Gooch is _ the Gooch on Twitter, right?
Yes.
And then I have a Twitter C3 Trio. I don't really use it that much, but you know, I'm trying to get on plugging them a little bit more. You can find all of this information at our website, delconerdnetwork.com. We also have a Discord server where we just read some fun questions and comments off of. You can come and participate while we're doing it live. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.